Se o silêncio dissesse tudo, sentimento bom que me leva pro outro mundo. A vontade de te ver já é maior que tudo. Não existem distâncias no meu novo mundo, tipo coisas da sétima.
This is the Clint Cronin Show. We have Keith Fukamay. Did I pronounce that right? Fukamay. Really? So we don't say your name because we call you Fuki Fuk. Fukami? What did I do? Then we got Mike Prudencio. So One World Jiu-Jitsu family in the house today. The Don right here of One World Jiu-Jitsu, Mike Prudencio. He's the boss man, right? And Fuki Fuk, Keith Fukamay in the house. Fukamay. All right, guys. How's it going? How you doing today? Good. Chilling. So you just got done training.
Yeah, we had some little training this morning with David Mitchell. Did some positional training, takedowns.
The buzzsaw.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's one of those nicknames where it's accurate. You don't have to wonder. So like your nickname's easy because you say your name and you're like, oh, that's it. But the buzzsaw is really good for David Mitchell because it's accurate. If you've seen him compete since around blue belt, you kind of get it. So we were up yesterday, kind of coaching along with David at what was it, Grappling Industries tournament?
Yeah.
So was that actually put on by that Coach Cola, A Jose, or do you know the guys that put that one on?
I don't know who the guy was. No.
All right, I saw Cola there.
Canadians or something.
Oh, it was Canadians? Cool. Yeah, the one referee was complaining. He said there's one of the referees didn't show up or was sick or something, so they didn't actually get any break to go eat. So they're all kind of dying.
Yeah, it was nice that they had heaters there. I think I was like, everyone was getting super hot, I think.
Well, they
sprung warm up as much, and
Well, they sprung for heaters. I was surprised. I never see climate control. Like when I see climate control in jiu-jitsu, I'm like, "Ooh, you spoiled. You know how fancy. We don't have it, right?"
That was crazy. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So I was coaching over on one of our white belts. Crazy as a white belt, Ben. Right. And I'm looking over and I think Gary was going as well. One of our blue belts competes quite a bit. And I was like, man, he's been sitting there. He's like, that guy has to sit and wait for matches like longer than, as I remember waiting so long to compete certain times in the bullpen because, you know, you get older and fatter and you got to wait. But this dude's sitting there, you know, the better part of 90 minutes. And I'm like, man, he's probably getting cold. Then I look at him, I see him sweat, like a bead of sweat, like right there on his chin because he's under this crazy ass heater that's there.
Yeah, we were warming up. He's like, "You want to pummel?" And then we were pummeling. And then I was like, "Man, we got to get out of this heater, dude. It's super hot right here."
Yeah, man.
He's got a bit of an injury. That's impressive. He's got his hands jacked up. So he's been coming to training, and I've been making him hold tape in his hand, so he can't use his grip.
That's smart.
He can't open and close his hand.
Yeah, he did have his fingers all
taped up.
Yeah,
a little injury there.
What was it? Yeah, so I talked to him and Nima, and I was trying to get them to actually rest the day before the match because the last time before the Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu Grand Prix, Nima wanted to train that day before. He's, no, I'm just going to do some striking sparring or whatever because it was a Friday. It could be Saturday, and you know he likes to get out there and do that. I'm like, maybe, just maybe go, you know, recover. And so I talked to both of them about cryo chamber therapy because you know if you're training really really hard leading up to competition. It's great, man. It really releases, you know, all that inflammation. And I like to do it because we used to train really hard on Saturday mornings, and I would train like every day leading up to that. I was like, you know, purple and brown belt. So by Saturday morning, I would be wrecked, and all the guys from, you know, all the different sort of like affiliates or, you know, the other guerrilla schools, all the big dudes would show up. So I'd finally get people like that were my own kind of belt level, own size. On that Saturday, I would already be wrecked from training with everybody all week. So I started doing cryo chamber therapy Friday afternoon, and I was like fresh Saturday. So that really helped me a lot.
How much are those sessions for that? I never tried it. I heard good things about it though.
So it's an investment. If you do it regularly, the best thing to do is to work a deal with a place that you like. Yeah. What I would do is I would hit up Groupon. And you can generally get like $20-$30 a pop if you do a bunch of them. And the more you do, the better deal you can get. Yeah. The smart bet is if you're competing a lot, try to get a sponsorship with one of those places. Right.
Throw a patch on or something.
Yeah, man.
How much better is that than just getting some bags of ice and putting it in your tub?
Well, let's put it this way. How much time do you have, right? The amount of ice you need to fill a cold tub, and then you need like 25 minutes to do it. So like you have to buy the ice, you have to store the ice, you have to get the ice home, and you need to fill it, and you need to sit in that tub for like 25 minutes because the difference between So cryochamber therapy, you are negative 280 degrees Fahrenheit, right, for 3 minutes because you'll die. And what it teaches you is you can breathe through just about anything. If you can control your breathing, you can calm yourself down, you can get that heart rate down, you can handle anything. It's like if you've been mounted by some like just killer and you're like, all right, where am I? Got to assess the situation. It's like that. It's like you're just getting smashed. That to me, that's like cryo. Like you just got to slow your heart and like kind of think.
Seen anyone ever pass out, like start breathing and start panicking? And then
No, because by the time you get to panic mode, there should, if it's a good place, and every place I've been to in the Bay, there's an attendant, and you just push the thing, you can come right out.
Okay.
Right. By the
But you're supposed to go in like right after you train, or what? Or you can
wait
do
a
it like
while.
You-
an
so-
hour
Wait a
after
couple
or something?
hours.
you'd want to wait until your body's cool down, because you want to, first of all, when you're post training, you ever notice if you shower right after you train and you get out, like you're still sweating even in the shower, and you dry off and then like you're still sweating even after you, so you're not really dry when you get in. So if it's a good place, and again, they should provide clean, dry socks. So they give you socks, slippers, and a robe to put on. Right? You need to wear underwear if you're a male, because you don't want that thing freezing. You know what I'm saying? Like a Terminator 2 style, cryogenically freezing, getting.
I'm talking about the wiener getting cold.
Yeah. So women don't have to wear the bottom. They can go in full whatever. But, if you're sweaty at all, that's why they want you to put the clean, dry socks on. Because if you have sweat on your feet, then you get in there, you can get frostbite on your feet and fingers. So good point. They do provide gloves, but some of the tanks have a cover that goes up to your neck they'll put on. Some it's just an open top for it to kind of, exhaust through. Generally, I'll put my hands like this, like right above that. You don't always have to, or I'll be like here, but you really want kind of your chest exposed. And so I think it's helpful. Even
I never
if
tried it before, I was always interested in trying it though.
the one thing that was kind of like an added benefit, if you didn't get much sleep or you're dragging ass, like really tired. So some nights on Thursday night, I would work real late, then still have to come at 6:30 to train, or to teach and train, then go about the day, go to work, and I'd be dead by almost lunchtime, if that. So I would go do cryo, and the endorphin rush, you are wide awake. Like 2 Red Bulls, let's fucking go, wide awake. But anyway, so you just got back from kind of a tour, basically, of quite a few places. Costa Rica being the most recent, right? So what's been up with the travel lately? Have you got to train? And
Yeah, I mean, I travel a good amount for work. I do like trade shows for NVIDIA. We go out and set up trade shows and tear them down and do it over again all the time. But most of it's domestic, and then, every once in a while we're good to go international. But since we travel so much, we work weekends, we get pretty good vacation. And usually like a lot of us will take vacation and go on trips around anywhere. So usually at least once a year I'll try and go like international, just different places I've never been. So I got a little map and I try and pin like different places that I've been before and trying to fill it up slowly, But one of the spots I always wanted to go was Costa Rica, and I've always been talking to Alejandro, shout out to Alejandro, he helped it out a lot. Visited him in Tamarindo, and then it was a good experience, got to train a lot. It's good.
Man, it was crazy. I went to train with Eduardo Teles in Turtle Master down in San Diego, and he had a black belt in from Costa Rica. He knew Alejandro.
Oh, nice.
They either lived together, they trained at the same place.
Doesn't know.
I meet a random dude at a gym I've never been to before, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know him." It was crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, everyone knows him out there. They don't call him Alejandro, though. I think they call him like Beline. I think
Beline.
No, Beline. I think it's like a ball bearing, or that's what they said.
We didn't call him that either. We called him Costa Rica.
Yeah, right. I was like, yeah, you guys know Costa Rica, right?
They're like, yeah, we live here, sir. So
yeah, but it was cool. The time I met up with him, he was actually eating dinner with some black belts and some guys that train from San Jose in Costa Rica. So they came out to hang out with him for the weekend, teach jiu-jitsu. So I met up with him on a good day, and then they came to pick me up the next morning, and they took me to train, and we went to go train over there. It's pretty cool.
Looks like you train at some different spots. It's all the same spot.
I trained once in the beach area, like Tamarindo area, and then we took our way around the country, and then like when we came back to the city, like I met up with those guys because they had went back home to San Jose, so I met up with them again, and then they took us to someone's house in a garage, and it was crazy. They were like, "Yeah, it's like 10 minutes away, or it's 10 miles away," but it was like an hour away, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna take us an hour to get there." I was like, "What? For 10 miles?" But there's so much traffic and so many little streets. But yeah, we ended up there, and then they had some mats, and then it was only big enough for like 2 pairs to roll at a time. But like 12 or something people showed up. It was good. Those guys are crazy, you know. They're all really hungry guys. They train really hard. It was good.
Yeah, I've noticed that when you go to like these paradise places, like there's like a different level, like aggro, like the aggression level's higher. Like Maui, these guys were like, they tried to kill us. They were super respectful, but they were like tooth and nail, like they wanted to fight.
They dig their head in, and they're just like,
yeah, like,
they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It was
themselves
good though. I need, yeah.
Visitors.
Especially since I had like heard that I was gonna do the fight to win, so I was like, all right, I gotta step up my training, you know. And these guys came hard, so it was good. I liked it a lot. I was like, cool.
So Mike brought up a good point, like kind of it was like proving themselves to visitors, but even not just rolling with us, like me and Shane and the whole crew, it was like 10 of us, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody from our group like train. I don't think like because they train, but I saw like 2 guys like right behind us, the 2 locals, guys that are from there, like shooting like a power double through this big sea of people. Like there was no place to step. Like everybody's bumping into each other. These dudes are shooting power doubles and stuff. We're like, God damn.
I think if sometimes if you don't have a black belt there all the time, you got white belts, blue belts, they're going to tend to be a little crazy in their rolling, and they don't have a home black belt there teaching them all the time, do they?
It was Shane's old coach. Yeah, he's there. I don't know if he was there that day.
You're talking about Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. So Costa Rica, do they have black belts?
In the Tamarindo, Huaca area, I think that's where we trained. The instructor, he was there, and then he left. I think he went to Hawaii or like Oregon or something, and then he moved away, and then so they were actually, it was crazy. They were actually paying the rent for the instructor, so they were just paying the rent so they can keep the gym open, and the guys are coming in, they're just training. But over in San Jose area in Costa Rica, it was just someone's house, and I don't think that's where they train all the time, but that's like one of their main training spots. And then because they have gyms over there where they train too, but like some of those guys are from different gyms, but a lot of them are guys that always train together. And yeah, it was good. It was just a lot of people.
Have you thought about doing seminars in places like that? I saw was it Pirate went and did one with the guy from the BJJ Globetrotter.
Oh, nice.
St. Bart's or something. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like to advertise it too much like that. But then, like you see, yeah, sometimes I'll just go, and I'll like, one of the times I went to Germany, and then I was just on a work trip. I always bring my gi with me, and then I showed up to this spot, and I was a black belt at the time too. So he's like, "Hey, professor, nice to meet you," and he had his students there, and he's like, "Yeah, can you warm up my class?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He probably just wants to, since we're from California, he's probably, all right, I want to see how they warm up. So I warmed up the whole class, and I started doing like partner drills and stuff like that. And he's like, "All right, can you teach us some technique?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm doing the whole class." So I just did it. It was cool though. Like everyone was very receptive, and everyone was really good. They all wanted to learn. They're all pretty hungry, especially when someone new comes in, they always want to learn, something else, So it was pretty funny. But yeah, he's
Jerry,
a cool guy.
Jerry, one of our black belts, went to South Africa, and he stopped in somewhere just to get some rolling in. And they said, "Oh, you're a black belt. You're going to teach our class for us today."
Yeah, it's you. You're the guy.
So I just wanted to get some rolling.
Yeah,
but,
right.
He was down. He did it, and it was a good time. But
yeah, it's different dropping in as a black belt at gyms and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just going to seminars as a black belt. I was always used to getting in line with all the students, especially it's not our home gyms or something like that. And they're like, "No, all the black belts stand out here." So I'm like, I'm standing next to Buchecha and like Leo Vieira and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll stand over here. This is weird, but it's still a trip. But man, have you done many seminars, Mike?
no,
Should.
not into it.
You don't like
I
the,
like to keep our secrets within.
that's the opposite of what we do. But,
No, I think the seminars are for the guys, the competitors that are out there. They need to make money, and everybody watches the sport. Everybody watches the competitors. So those are the hot tickets for seminars. I'm focused on my place. You guys, and it's not a big draw. People want the big names to come in. So I wouldn't say I'm not a big name.
you're a Bay Area OG, man. Like,
I don't think it matters. I think a lot of seminars, people just want to meet the white belts, the blue belts, the purples. They want to meet these superstars that they see on the video competing, or they go to tournaments, and these are the little bit more interesting.
It's crazy though. I've been to some seminars with some big names, and a lot of them that are big names that are like current, they're not very old. So it's one of these things where just because they're a great competitor, it doesn't mean they're going to be a great instructor and teaching the stuff. So I went to one, and I won't say what it is because it's not polite, but they were very technical, but some of the techniques that they were showing were like very long-winded, and it should have been like a week-long workshop, because I was looking around and most of the students were like white and blue belt, because that's a lot of seminars, but you're getting, like you mentioned, and they just looked lost. It would be like 10 steps to a thread, right? And instead of showing like one technique and really drilling down and be like, this is the bread and butter of it, this is how it works, this is why it works, it was like, you do this, it was like, whoa. It's like, so I tie my belt, then what? Everybody's just like looking around. I had no idea what was going on.
We had some big name guys come, and Jake Bell, Jake, one of our black belts, the guy's doing the move, the seminar instructor, and Jake breaks and he does his own thing. He's not doing anything that resembles what the guy just did, and I don't think they cared on it. Jake was a black belt, so they didn't come to help. They say, hey, what are you doing, man? Like, I don't know, what are you doing? I can't. He was like, and I started talking to him, and he's like, I don't think he's doing it right. And I'm like,
he's just doing stuff.
Like Jake's got his own thing. He's got his own style.
He's a really good instructor, man.
He's an excellent instructor.
And I didn't know that.
He can do seminars, man. He's good.
He should. He absolutely should. I didn't realize how good he was until he started teaching at AK Sunnyvale all the time, and he has jokes and stuff. Like he has he's really good. So like he's very good at articulating techniques. He's got a great judo base. He has a great jiu-jitsu style. But his ability to sort of engage everybody and get them all, like, because you see a lot of guys when, different classes are going on where people, not everybody's present, right? And then they wind up having to go around and, show it a million times. But he's great at actually engaging the guys and like just breaking down the information and, building from one thing to the next. Like there's continuity between from one class to the next to the next. So in terms of, instructors that, they're not the huge names, like, some of the world champions that are out there doing seminars, like, no, Jake Bell he's solid as hell. He's a really good instructor. I think like all of our guys at One World are, they're, I don't think it's so much under the radar anymore because we have so many people come out for the open mats now. Like people are starting to know One World, but Jake's awesome. You're actually a really good instructor too. Well, Mike, obviously. You guys have wizardry with you have some very technical stuff. Like whenever De La Riva got really popular, started realizing like, man, this guy's got like a depth of knowledge on this stuff.
Yeah, it's I think it's pretty hard to be like a really good instructor and train really hard too. Yeah, I mean I know moves, but I can't teach it to like guys that are pretty familiar with jiu-jitsu already. Like trying to show a white belt to do it, it's like a little harder now because I'm friggin' like, okay, yeah, you gotta, I'm taking things for granted, like, oh, I keep my hips up during this time, and and I think it's a little harder. So yeah, like even now in the class, I'm like, hey Mike, you want to show something? Because he shows things a lot better than me,
I don't know about that.
I just like drills.
Drills
is fun. Yeah.
Mike gave me really good advice when I first started teaching. He said like, I was like, I don't know, like sometimes I'm like not sure what to show. And he's like, well, don't be so compelled to like feel like you have to entertain him and show him new stuff all the time. Like, get through and make sure they have the bread and butter stuff, the fundamentals, and the stuff you know well enough to teach. And then it's like, all right, we'll go from there. And
people pick on if they pick up on if you want to be there or not, or
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
confused, or if you're a nerd, whatever. So if you just go in there and have fun, it's like, this is what I'm teaching, and I'm into it. You know, if you're really into teaching, you want everybody to learn, your personality comes out, and things will be all right. It can be a basic sweep or whatever. People will appreciate it. They'll feel that you have that passion and that you want them to learn this.
yeah, I really geek out on the teaching stuff. I had the opportunity to be an instructor at the seminar for the police officer that was run over in San Francisco. They had it over
Oh
in
yeah, I remember that.
in South City, and it was,
He's okay. He survived, right?
I don't know the most. He was in ICU for a very long time. I haven't gotten the most recent update lately. I need to find out. I didn't know him personally. I think he's a brown belt from Bay Jiu Jitsu. Is Tess's husband. I think they're very close because they're all kind of PD. I think Tess at one point was in.
I remember hearing about it. Yeah, I remember seeing the seminar.
Officer Tankle. I think his last name was Tankle.
Tess, you guys talking about the Tess COVID?
Tess
Black
Casey. Tess COVID Pro Corncool. Something like that. Tess Casey.
One of John Gennaro's black belts.
Yeah. So we've had
Yeah, she comes in open mat every once in a while. She was there last week. Yeah.
she would be there, and then Christina Barlan would be there, but it would always be different times. And I'm like, damn it, because like they've had some classics back and forth. Like, I don't know how many times they competed against each other, but I never see them both there at the same time. Like, damn it. But yeah, I got to teach at the seminar. There was a lot of really good black belts showing stuff, and I just showed shoulder locks that I really enjoy, that I can sit and break down like a million details on, and it's to try to fill a short amount of time, because you're all kind of sharing the time. So you have like you show like one or two techniques to move on. Bryant, he was from last week's show. He was there. Lana, the world champion, the female, she was there. I forget what was her last name? She's Stefanik. Yeah, Stefanik. She's a one world open mat all the time too. And then it was just a whole bunch of
I
stuff.
rolled with her once, and she asked if she can start in my closed guard. I was like, what? I'm 140 pounds, man.
she showed cross collar choke, like bread and butter, basic cross collar choke.
Yeah.
But she said put emphasis on these two fingers, so your ring finger and your pinky, of really like as you're finishing it, like because if you were to do like touch each finger to your thumb like this, she said the one that engages your forearm muscle the most are these two, even though the smallest ones. And by like gripping with the pinky and like focusing the most of your strength, or through those two fingers, it's like a much tighter, much faster choke. And I'm like, I never thought about it. Then we tried it. I was like, oh God, it is. So like when you're pulling apart like that on the double under one, or even the under over, just really focusing on this. And then she showed some setup stuff, like some basics, but just using those two fingers, it's like made a big difference. A crazy little detail.
I think, you can't get hung up if people take away your technique. You just show it. And most people that do jujitsu for many years.
Oh yeah.
So, they're always going to tinker with different moves, and a lot of people are probably going to remember what you did and add it to the game. Some people not, but you don't have to learn everything that there is to offer in jiu-jitsu. Just take what works for you.
I took it.
It's amazing that everybody's got their little, their little
niche,
their little touches on their game.
So the cool part that I took away from it was, after it was over, like some of the black belts that were over in a corner kind of working like together, they're like, hey, show me that again. Like they were like actually into it. And I got like one DM in my Instagram about it, like afterwards, like, hey man, this blah, blah, this whole thing. It's pretty cool. I never thought of it that way. It's like, it made my core much tighter, and I'm going to use that. So I was pretty stoked about it. Like I don't know if everybody got every detail, cause like sometimes people zone out because seminars can be kind of long. So, but I got some good feedback, and to me it was, I don't know, I like teaching a lot. I don't know. I get a lot of, and coaching too. I don't know why I like it that much, but it's very satisfying.
Yeah. Usually when I go to seminars, I usually try and pick one move, because usually they'll show like maybe 6 to 10 moves, and it's like, unless you're videotaping it or something, you're not going to remember all of it. So I usually try and get one good move. And like even when I was a white belt, like Jeff Glover, Sim Go, those guys used to come in, and I'd be like, all right, we call this like my $40 move or whatever, however much the seminar was, we'd be like, oh yeah, this is a $40 move. And you would do like deep half or butterfly sweeps and stuff like that and darces. But then like that was what you learned at the time, and then like you go to another seminar later and you're like, all right, let me pick out one more move, and then you kind of add on to your game, because I feel like if you try and add on all of it, then it gets all jumbled in with everything else, and you're like, forget it, and you're like, okay, never mind.
Force yourself to try to take it all in, take what you can. But it seems nowadays there's man, just go on.
Yeah, you
on
can
the
go on
internet,
YouTube.
Go on YouTube, man. Because everything's out there, all the info.
It's crazy. I feel like with YouTube, you can get an idea how a move works, but without having somebody being like, no, your hips go here, the pressure goes here. Like you'll be doing like 10% version of that move, but then you see somebody that's like, it's their move.
Yeah.
Then you feel the pressure and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the difference. And I think like the internet's great that people can see different things, but unless you really invest the time in like working that style or working that technique, it's like you might as well just stick to what you were doing. Like it's cool because you get to
see what the potential is.
But
you might be able to take something away. The only thing that I don't like is I tell guys, don't go on YouTube and learn a submission and then bring it back. Don't go learn heel hooks on YouTube and then try to do them on your training partners. A sweep, maybe a throw, something like this, a pass. But when it comes to submissions, you got to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that there's the education level in terms of leg locks in general is increasing, because I always compare it to like CrossFit. A lot of people, the early criticism of CrossFit was that it's dangerous, but then it was down to like how experienced is that instructor? How much, like, what's the education that comes with this?
Man, I always felt that was just the haters. I've been in CrossFit. I was involved in CrossFit way back when it was just a little gym. It was in Claudio France's Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Yep.
They just had a little corner, Greg Glassman, and as it got bigger, it seemed like it just got haters. You got a lot of supporters, you got haters. And I was like, what are they talking about? It's dangerous. And I can understand, like, you're going too fast. You're doing deadlifts for speed or something. Yeah, that's not smart. But if you're at a good CrossFit gym, that's not an issue. It's
lack of education. And it's exactly like you are like enforcing my point right now. It's great. So the haters that you get on that, it would be a lack of education. They're hating on something because they don't know. So like, if you don't know, this thing, you're going to think like, oh, it's bad because X, Y, Z, because I heard this. And then people actually do get hurt because maybe there's not that much experience of the person doing it or the person teaching it. Leg locks are the same. You have a lot of people hating on it because they don't know them. Yeah. Right. Where they just attack the top half of the body. Right. And if you don't know a leg lock, you don't know how to defend it. So if you get a guy with a heel hook, in toe hold or straight ankle lock, I'll just roll over. No, you got to raise your hips. You have to disengage. You have to unwind it. They don't know that. Yeah, leg locks are dangerous, but that's down to lack of education. Yeah. So you're going to have haters. Yeah. Just like
in Grappling Industries, the tournament.
That's what was crazy yesterday.
The black belt or brown black belt, maybe, I think it was legal to heel hook in the gi.
No, it said no gi only.
Oh, there's no gi.
They changed the rule. It was in the gi, and then they had a lot of schools that didn't want to support them because of that rule. So they ended up changing it, I think. But they were allowing it, and when I first heard that, I thought it was cool. Because it's brown and black belt. It wasn't like the lower belts, I don't think. And I think at black belt, you should open it up a little bit, be exposed to all these different ways to submit somebody.
I think, by brown belt or black belt, you should be responsible for defending your limbs. I mean, you can't just say, I didn't know it. It's like, you got hurt, man.
They did allow us, I think they do allow the leg scissor takedown.
Okay.
In blue belt. And I just saw a video where a guy got hurt. I think it was his ankle, though, not his knee. The guy jumped to a leg scissor takedown, and the guy fell and is like, start rolling in pain. So now they might change that rule.
Did he not know how to fall? Or did he just resist it the wrong way?
I don't know. Just blue belts don't have as much experience. Maybe the kid just kind of jumped into it a little bit at an odd angle. And twisted the guy's ankle.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy yesterday though, because like blue belts and brown belts, they were able to do toe holds and stuff. I didn't know that, and then like Nima, the guy started doing it on Nima, and I was like,
yeah,
hey, he's doing toe holds. And
he had his back, and he went for it. And I looked
at the thing, I was like, oh, it does say it's illegal, but then Nima was like, yeah, it wasn't a problem, But guys, I mean, the guy was like, he had the guy in side control, and he was like still trying to do a toe hold. And then I seen some other matches where like there's like blue belts trying to do it, but they were trying to figure out, like which way to turn the toe. They're like,
if you're gonna throw a tournament, you expect the masters of jiu-jitsu to register. You've got to have some safety at each belt level. Yep. So you don't want to go too crazy too early. But by black belt, I think should be opened up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like amateur MMA, right? They have some level of padding compared to pros, right? So there's some level of protection for the children. There's more because the spine isn't fully developed and stuff. So they don't want they stop the guard jumping, right? They don't want you jumping guard as a kid.
Or as a white belt.
I think the rule was under 18 years old. You weren't allowed to jump guard in this one.
IBJJF, yeah, IBJJF.
For grappling industry, under 18, you can't jump guard as a white belt.
You guys know Andrew? So they just started that rule, I think it was last year.
Okay.
And he was competing in the white belt, IBJJF, like I think the SJ Open. And I said, okay, because he was jumping guard.
Andrew
Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
Dirty Sanchez. He's got the little
That's
mustache.
that's actually his nickname?
Yeah, why not? I don't know.
Oh, good.
That's what I call him.
Fair.
Anyway, so I told him, remember, you can't jump guard. So in his match, he started pushing, stand-up battle, and he does a flying arm bar. And it's so beautiful.
Was that
He
DQ?
comes down, he goes, the guy's on his back. The guy defends the armbar, but he's on his back, and then the ref stops it. And I'm like, oh, you got to give that to him, ref. Yeah, let him have it. It's like the ref's like, no. He didn't disqualify him. He started it standing up. He gave him a warning, don't do this.
No jumping.
And it's funny, like the day before, I think, is like, don't jump. But he did it anyways. But it was nice, But I can understand the rule, for white belts. It's I don't think it's bad.
Man, to be fair, we drilled that flying armbar stuff quite a bit over at AK Sunnyvale. We were doing a bunch of flying arm bars, yeah. We had one bigger guy that didn't want to jump ever. The biggest guy in the class, he didn't want to jump.
I've seen a pretty gnarly injury from a flying guard jump in training, like pretty intense training. Guy stood up, it was a scramble, they broke. One guy jumped with no grips, just jumped in the air to pull guard and kind of hit an angle around the guy that was standing. They caught him.
Clip.
Bop. And his knee was, I had to take him
So
to
it's
the emergency.
dangerous for the person that's standing up.
Yeah. If you don't know how to base properly, or you could just slip a little bit.
Well, you see guard jumping all the time at the black belt level. I just watch events all the time where these elite guys are jumping closing guard. So it's something that you got to pass on to your students. It's an effective thing for the movement for the sport.
Have you seen a lot of it in MMA or any of it in MMA?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes Kron Gracie
Kron Gracie did?
did it in Japan.
Cool.
But a couple guys you'll see, I think just recently in the UFC, who was it? Somebody jumped guard. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, you'll see it from time to time. It's probably not a smart idea, right? You get put on your back and
somebody just start unloading on you. Just hold them against the fence and just start hitting them right there. It's perfect.
It happens every year, now and then.
So, did you watch any of the, was it called ACB, is it Beirut? Did you watch any of that over the Friday? Saturday?
A few matches, not much.
So, what was it? Joao Gabriel Rocha, he beat Luis Panza.
I've seen those matches.
Caixinha won because Caixinha always wins. Buchecha won his match. Joao beat Mendes. Was it Miao? Joao Miao beat, was it Augusto Mendes?
Tonquinho, I think. Yeah.
Tonquinho, yeah. So these guys apparently pay pretty good money. What I've heard, they're
getting all the good guys out there, so I'm guessing they got money. It's like it's a big tournament.
Where's that money coming from? I don't want to know.
Oh no, I think it's Russia. It's a Russian company, isn't it?
Russian company.
I don't know. It could be Bitcoin.
They got money. They got money. They love jiu-jitsu, so it's good, man.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, if they're paying these athletes,
Fight to Win Pro, man. They're doing it right, I think.
They're doing it.
Showcase. They found a way to do it effectively where they're not losing money. They're trying to make some money out of it, and I'm really impressed. As soon as I heard about the show, I was like, man, I'm down to be a part of it if I can.
Yeah, they got stand-up guys running it. Seth Daniels is a workhorse. Nothing but respect for that guy. He just won his debut at Fight to Win by a Twister, 30-second Twister.
He got the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, you're pretty much not getting out of this." And the guy's like, "All right."
Yeah, he's always been real cool. Like I've dealt with him a couple times. He's a really cool dude. Then Mike Kalimbas is also, is that how you say his name? The photographer. He's basically like the famous jiu-jitsu photographer, right? Everybody knows him now. So he's at all these events as well. He takes some awesome pictures. So I'll usually go and just get in as press, and get to go and one of his crew guys is like, at one point I was doing Caio Terra's walkout, and I was like, I had it all framed up. It was cool. I was gonna just do a little video thing at the end, but the one of his helpers, or like one, maybe it might have been a staff guy from the building. He's like, didn't want me to video the equipment. I'm like, those are just empty boxes, dude. I was just trying. I had like, and he came like right in the middle of the shot, like right as his music hit when he was about to walk out. I'm like, damn it. But yeah,
they got a good model going. I mean, it's all the local people from that area, and then they get them to sell tickets, and it's like
it's smart.
You're gonna get their family members, their friends to come over, and their guys from their gym. I mean,
the show in Richmond's got about 18 black belts, maybe.
Yeah,
I know this one's like a lot of black belts. Like the last one I went to, there's probably like 5-6 black belt matches maybe, and then this one seems like there's at least 10 or something.
Oh, there's a lot, and
crazy. There's like 30 matches throughout the night or something, right?
Oh yeah, because they start with juvenile or teen basically at around 5:30.
This show's gonna have 2 teen matches, and then a couple purple, a couple brown, and then the rest are all black.
Yeah, the Sacramento show was really good. There was another women's or a couple women's matches, different age level. They had a title match, right? What's her name from Checkmat? The one with Christina Barlon had the injury. Patty Fontes. So she went against I think an Australian black belt who did really well in IBJJF recently as well, and won tons of titles at her weight.
In Australia, man, Craig Jones, look at that guy. He's beasting on everyone.
Doing that
everybody.
Down under jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's crazy at the Fight to Wins. They'll usually bring like someone from outside in, like they had the Autos people in last time, and then like one before that, I think they brought in someone else from
Gary
down
Tone?
south. Yeah. They usually like bring someone against like the local guys.
It's smart.
Yeah, it's good.
You're gonna, because those friends and family and training partners or students, whatever, they're all gonna buy tickets.
Yeah.
It's if you're training for any a period of time, it's jiu-jitsu is a family. It's the smartest thing. Not every MMA gym's gonna have that. A lot of guys will come to camps and stuff, and you're not gonna be able to get the locals if you're not from there.
Are broke generally.
We're all broke, man. we just get to wear more clothes when we're getting like we don't have to wear just shorts and a little bit of tape and a mouth guard.
How was the Sacramento show? I know Marcos Tarragosa.
Oh, he tore it up, man.
He's always tearing it up.
The guy's a machine, man. I got nothing.
Cassio Warnick.
Cassio did good. Bryant, Pangali. Dude, I just had him on the show last week. I can't say his last name. Say Bryant.
Saber Jiu-Jitsu.
Saber Jiu-Jitsu Bryant. He was dominating this guy, and then he got caught at the very, very end, and I think an inverted triangle or reverse triangle, which he was playing top of half guard, kind of where you're.
That guy get caught. His shoulders.
I know. We're like,
It must have been some guy with like really long legs or something.
Me and Dave Sands were just talking about like you're not gonna. He's untriangleable because he has like. I mean, I got a decent sized neck. He's got a thick ass neck on him. Man. Who else was there? From the guy that just went against Gary Tone at EBI. Was it Hosha?
Oh, Wagner Hosha.
Wagner Hosha was there. He won his match. Elliot Kelly went. The other David Mitchell competed twice.
Okay.
Not
our David Mitchell.
No.
Twice?
Not the bus.
Well, he had to fill in against. I think it was Elliot Kelly's because they hit me up to take on Elliot Kelly, and I'm like, I got a bad back and a bad knee. You ain't catching me out there for a while. That guy's a killer and a really nice guy too. So David Mitchell also went against Nick Green. He lost to Nick Green via decision.
Okay.
Just got his black belt.
Yeah, and
I think he's got a Chris Coldiron in the Richmond show.
Oh, yeah, right.
He's doing back to back. So he just went against David Mitchell.
He's
and
a beast. He's got a full-time career. He's got a job.
I know.
He doesn't train all day.
Who, Nick Green?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does for a job. He's got some kind of job, and then he trains whenever he can.
He's always training. Yeah.
If you look at him now, he leaned out quite a bit. You can tell he's taking it really seriously.
Nice.
I think he's always taking it seriously.
Yeah, he's always been pretty on it.
But a lot of us got a little heavier, a little bit. So, but like, if you look at him, like he's you can see like the jawline, like really, you can tell he's training his ass off. Like the dude's in shape. Yeah. Those guys they're really training hard over at Half's in San Francisco. So the main event is
Shields and Kid Dale from Australia.
Yeah, I got to do a few rounds with Jake Shields getting ready for his Submission Underground match. Guy's no joke. I got my ass kicked.
I would imagine Shields is slight favorite in that match.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I heard his no-gi game's like crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Puts the pressure.
Very intense. Yeah, yeah. He's
Everyone that's trained with him is like, yeah, he's no joke, you know.
no. I didn't know what to expect. I knew he was going to be very high level, but when he's getting ready for for fights and stuff, like it's A game and it's on. So it was like, all
He's
right.
got a brother who's a black belt as well, Clement Shields.
Okay.
He trains down with Kaijin. That guy's
Yeah.
a beast too. He doesn't compete as much, but I've seen him roll several times. And, whew,
Those guys were all
100% the whole time.
the Shields guys, weren't they all like Coalition 95 back in the day? Like they would go back over there quite a bit.
Kaijin roots his coalition. It's Claudio França.
They split, huh? I think they
I
did.
don't know what's going on there. I mean, Garth has his own school.
Okay.
Kaijin. I think they represent themselves when they compete, but I don't know the relationship between him and Claudio. I would assume it's still good. I don't know.
What was the other school down in that area? There was
Sandro Batata.
yeah, that's right.
down
Batata's
there.
there also, huh?
Yeah.
He's in what's the other town over?
Campbell.
He's in Campbell as well, near you. And he does stuff with EA, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he also teaches at EA. Fuki knows
Yeah,
about
I've been
that.
out there for one of his classes. I mean, like I used to work at EA, so I was
Oh, yeah, that's
training with. He's a CEO now, Andrew Wilson, but he was a brown belt under Cron Gracie, and
Nice.
like when I was training there, one of the admins, linked me up with him, so I started training with him, and then he had his own like rollout mats and everything, and then shortly after I left, they flipped the gym, and it was nice, man. They got their own little downstairs area where they have rollout mats, and it says EA in the middle. They have their EA show you roll gis.
Yes.
I was like, man, luckily I got one of those, I hit up Batata. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come to one of your classes. So I came in and trained with some of those guys. It was cool, man.
Yeah,
Like
man.
if you can work for a company that does jiu-jitsu too, like Google, Facebook used to do it, I think too. LinkedIn, I think they have like a no-gi thing also.
Yeah, they have a little program at
They have one at
LinkedIn.
Apple as well.
Apple
I don't know
does,
if
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Apple did / does. I know they did for sure. Google's Milton Bastos.
Yep.
So Apple, they started Paul Schreiner, who teaches at Marcelo Garcia's gym now, was the instructor there. And when he was heading out to New York, he actually hit me up if I wanted to take over. I was like, I don't have time for that. And then I think Batata took over. I hit him up to Batata, and then Batata left as well. So I don't know what's going on. If they still have a program there or not.
Yeah, which
But,
one?
at Apple.
At Apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Google. I mean, they have gis. Like David Mitchell wears the Google gis and
Yeah.
stuff. He's like, yeah, it's like,
That's type.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those things. They wind up on that gi hoarder website and the eBay for a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, the EA show you roll.
Oh yeah,
gi.
the EA one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't even opened mine. I was like, I have the white and blue one. I was like, I'll probably wear it one of these days.
Yeah, listen, look at the price on gi hoarder for it. You're gonna trip. Like, no, it's like you're probably not gonna open it. I probably shouldn't have told you that, but
Yeah, I mean, I figured it would probably be up there. It's like one of those, yeah. Because they had the black with the red collar also. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been over there in a while. I hate bothering him because he's probably the guy at EA. He's the CEO. Like I hate bothering him because I know he's busy, but like I used to always like hit him up, be like, yeah, let's go train, and then I'll see him at big conferences like E3, the gaming conference in LA. He's always out there doing keynotes and stuff. So I'll like stop by and say what's up. But yeah, usually I don't hit him up anymore for jiu-jitsu because I know he's busy.
he'd probably be glad if you hit him up because people like in those types of positions, they're hit up for so many other things where people want something from them. If you're just like, hey, let's go, that might be actually a welcome break, man.
Because he used to train at, I think it was like LA. It was like there was like a LA boxing in San Carlos area, and they had jiu-jitsu, and he used to go there every once in a while, but he stopped going there, and then he was like, yeah, if you want to do any sessions, and we were just doing like once a week sessions at EA, we roll out the mats, and we just be on like the basketball court, pretty much just people playing basketball. We have like a little area, we're just rolling, and then and then it started turning into like more people wanted to come. Like there was a guy, Andrew, he was an MMA fighter. He worked in the shipping, and he would always want to do no-gi. So we had like a good little group going, and then now they have like full classes, which is good. So Batata's running that. I mean, I haven't seen him post any pictures recently, but I mean, like the guy, they had a lot of people there. It was cool.
So you've been training mostly between One World, aka Sunnyvale, for this fight to win match, right? You got any? You got like a strategy? Got like a game plan going into it? Like, what? Oh, who's your opponent on this one?
Jeremiah Labiano. I was at his last match when he went against Vitor Paschal.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there, and yeah, I mean, I remember a little bit of it. I mean, he was like Vitor had close guard. He was slamming him a little bit, and for a fight to win, I mean, it's legal. You get to, it's considered a submission.
He's a tough guy. He's an
He's an MMA
fighter.
fighter. Yeah.
MMA.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's kind of funny how that happened too, because like I said, I traveled for events. So I was in Vegas in beginning of January, and then David Mitchell was out there too. So I was going to this club, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at Excess and Encore."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll probably go out there too." So we ended up getting a table for my work, and we ended up at the same club, and then I met up with David Mitchell, and we're like drinking and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, what's your email address?" I was like, "What?" And then he's like, "How you spell your last name?" And then I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm signing you up for a fight to win." I was like, "Oh," and we were both drunk. I was like, "Oh, fuck it." So then like he goes through and he does it, and then he submitted. I was like, "Damn, it'd be crazy if they actually hit me up." And then like a week later, after I get back, I'm about to go to Costa Rica. They're like, I get the email from Seth Daniels. He's like, "Yeah, you and Jeremiah at 155 at Gi." I was like,
"Okay,
sure." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever," because I haven't competed in like 2 years, so it's a good push to get me back into shape and get back on it.
Nice. You have your so cool part about Fight to Win Pro, if you haven't already seen one of those events on Flow Grappling or been to one live, you get a whole entrance with a video package and music and stuff. Cool. you have like pretty much worked out kind of what you're gonna walk out to, all that stuff.
I don't know if you get do you get to pick the
hell yeah you do
video and stuff, because I've seen like sometimes it's just like flashing or whatever, but you get to pick the music.
I'm pretty sure you could if you provide a video package
clip
in a format that they can deal with, I bet you can get something going.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool way to showcase jiu-jitsu. A lot of people complain about going to tournaments being boring. Don't go to a tournament, it's so boring. Well, it's not made for spectators. It's made for the competitors. You have all the weights, all the belts. You don't go there to watch jiu-jitsu. You go to there to support your teammates and your friends. But this is single matches, and you're going there to also support your teammates, but it's a little bit more entertaining. It's a showcase.
It totally is. And the slamming, I think that actually adds to it, because now there's a severity, there's repercussion to
chill.
chilling.
That cool sound when you get slammed, like that WWE sound.
Yeah, you hit the ground, it makes some noise, it resonates, right? And some of those buildings have pretty cool acoustics in them, and the one in the Keys Art Pavilion, you get slammed, it was like, hey, cool. It sounded like a pretty good thud. You guys just segued. So last night, Shayna Baszler was the co-main event of one of the WWE shows for the women's title, and today, you can actually bet in Vegas now in WWE. By the way, so you can go and bet money on something that has a predetermined outcome.
That's weird,
right? It's like why? It's like I know some people that work there. I want to hit them up and be like, hey. They wouldn't say nothing. They wouldn't tell me.
That's weird.
That's crazy.
So
is that illegal? Can they do that?
Yeah, it is, because you can bet on TV shows and shit. There's some if you're a degenerate enough gambler, like you can get action on most things. Like what happens on like the Desperate Housewives and shit, or Survivor, who gets kicked off next. Like you can bet all kinds of ridiculousness. But tonight, there's a lot of people that maybe wouldn't already watch it or be paying attention to it. The Vegas favorite to win the first ever women's Royal Rumble is Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey is in the Royal Rumble.
So Ronda Rousey right now she's like been a wrestling fan her whole life. She uses Roddy Piper as music and like his nicknames. Like she was good friends with Piper because they're both judo. So Roddy Piper is a Judo Gene LaBelle black belt. Or was. He passed away, right? So like they all go way back with him, right? So Ronda Rousey has Roddy Piper. Okay. The guy from They Live, the guy with the kilt, Hot Rod.
Right.
So that's it was a good friend of Rousey and a student of Gene LaBelle for years and years. So Ronda Rousey has supposedly been in talks. Well, she has been in talks with WWE for a long time. Okay. She appeared at WrestleMania 31 here in Santa Clara with The Rock, and So the and they were she was apparently spotted out to lunch with the COO of the WWE like a few weeks back, right, or a few months back, whatever the hell it was, recently. So the big speculation is that they always have surprise entrants, and they only have 20. Like I think it was like 20 people named already. Okay. So there's 10 unknowns. Like they always bring people in. So they're thinking the big one is going to be Ronda Rousey, and they're saying like she's the Vegas favorite to win, and she's not even signed. It's never been announced that she signed, nothing.
Dude, she's gonna snap. She's actually gonna break some arms. She's gonna have flashbacks of the UFC.
Someone hits her
She's
in the
gonna
face.
hurt
She's
somebody.
And it's so different than actual like martial arts, like the way you go about stuff. So if you watch Shayna Baszler, like I've seen her wrestle a bunch of times. She's really cool. Like I talked to her for a while. Oh yeah, so it's funny. They're the four horsewomen in MMA, right? That's what they call themselves because they're all big.
They have that. Oh, that's crazy.
They call themselves four horsewomen, but WWE has their own version of that. Like it was like these four girls that came up together. They all call it like Ric Flair's daughter. They started calling themselves the four horsewomen. So they were trying to book they wanted to book the match for WrestleMania, like who's going to be the real four horsewomen. So they were going to put the four against four, but they only signed one of them. They only signed Shayna, and the other ones I don't think are like trained that much, or I don't think they have the experience. Because Ronda doesn't, right? It's not the same.
Is Vince McMahon still around?
He just sold $100 million worth of WWE, and he announced he's restarting the XFL. They just did a whole prep.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
Did you guys ever see the XFL?
No. It was like that indoor arena football, right?
Well, they would do they'd have a gauntlet for the ball, so it wouldn't be a coin toss or the kickoff. Like you'd have to scramble and just like you'd have to go get the ball off the field, and like that's who would get the ball first. So instead of a coin toss, like you're going and kicking each other's ass the first second of the game before it even starts. So they would have that, and the big thing is like they were trying to put it off as like the first reality show, where they were really putting cameras in places and really like you'd get a lot of the backstage, you'd get a lot of like before the NFL started doing it, where there'd be cameras in their on their bench or whatever, and in between plays and stuff, you'd get to like actually see up and close like what they were doing.
Yeah.
First of all, it's getting a lot of criticism that he's doing it again because the first one it only made it one season and that was it, right? But they're trying to say like they want it to be a faster game with like more simple rules, and they're only going to do I think 8 teams to start, and it's only going to go for like a pretty short amount.
He didn't do the one with the girls in bikinis.
No.
That was a different thing.
Yeah, that was like the lingerie football league.
Some of those girls were
probably
crazy
still going
too.
on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're still doing that. I think. The XFL was meant to be an alternative thing, and so NBC worked with them the first time. I think this time because they have 2 million subscribers on their WWE network already, so they could probably piggyback off of that and get the viewership and ad dollars through that. And yeah, he pulled $100 million out of his own personal. He sold $100 million worth of stock that he owned in WWE.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's getting. Yeah,
He's
he's probably getting old.
He's in his 70s. He's in 70s, but this time he's not going to be as hands-on. He said he's going to hire just the right people for it and stuff. So
Shane and Sarah.
No, he wants to keep it completely separate. They said there's going to be no crossover between WWE and XFL. I don't know if it's a good idea. But I also am not a billionaire, and I haven't had the level of ideas to come up with all that craziness. So, the guy's successful in most things he's done. Like they don't exactly make the best movies, but man, they're making money, and that place is profitable. So I don't know. I'm not really a football fan. So if they go to maybe towns where they don't have a team, and people might get into it. Who knows? But
seems like a long shot.
Yeah, dude, they said what was like 7 months out of the year there's no football. So like if you put it then, I don't know. I don't really know. If you can get people into it, you don't necessarily have to even compete with the NFL. Like you're just showing this other football show. And for people that maybe don't make the NFL or whatever, there you go. You have that as an opportunity. It's more athletes getting paid. I'm sure the money's going to be
invested that money in Fight to Win Pro.
Fight to Win Pro. Man, you can only do so many of those because people get hurt, right?
What?
The Fight to Win Pros, like.
Do they? I don't think they have a high rate of injury.
So the guys that you would really pay a lot of money to go see, like the like stars of jiu-jitsu, which like there's not that many, right? Mm-hmm. How often can they really compete at that level without you start getting hurt?
Yeah.
Right? So, but I mean, going town to town and just paying everybody a couple $100 a
I
piece.
feel like there's a lot of them now because, yeah, looking down, I mean, there's always one somewhere.
Yeah, it's true.
And they have them all
Yeah, I
over
think
the
they-
states.
I think they've had like 3 or 4 in California in the last 6 months or so.
They've had
San
3 in the
Jose,
last month.
Reno, Sacramento.
Yeah.
Richmond now, Oakland,
Richmond.
San Jose. Yeah, they haven't done San Francisco in a minute, but I like that building. I like Kezar. The Sacramento one was set up nice. It's a nice big, open building kind of thing, and they had a nice warm up room. They had a separate training
Oh,
room
nice. I
to
was
warm up
wondering if
in.
they had that. Like,
Yeah.
to warm up.
Sacktown did. I don't know what the building's like in Richmond, but
San Jose had a small warm-up area.
oh, did they?
Yeah.
So that was at
It's like everyone
Fairgrounds.
warming up together.
They split
Yeah.
up.
Oh, there's
Red
2.
corner, blue corner. They kind of split
Uh,
that.
Oh,
Find someone on those. Like, hey, let's go train.
yeah. The one brown belt from Gorilla was working with Hosha.
Wagner.
Wagner Hosha. There's too many Hoshas. Wagner Hosha. He was warming up with him. I guess they did a seminar together. He helped him put together a seminar. Jameson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was working. They were warming up together.
See him at the open mat sometimes.
Yeah, James
yeah.
always comes in.
Yeah, I saw him over at Henry Aiken's seminar, way up in Concord, a year ago or something. All the way up here for. So your match is scheduled for, is it February the 10th?
Yep.
And that's in Richmond, California. What is
I
it?
think it's like 8-minute matches.
8 minute.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't
10?
think the
It's not 10?
black
I
belts.
thought they were all 10. No.
I could have swore they weren't at 10. It seemed like they were all a lot faster than 10 for sure.
Yeah, it goes by pretty quickly. Maybe the title fights are 10, or maybe it's Masters is 1 and then adults another. I mean, the kids I think they're much shorter than that. But you can get tickets at.
Just want to go out there, have fun, see how it is. Because the first time I saw it too, I was I went to one of the ones where Kishin was the headliner. He fought. Dang, what's his name from?
Bruno Frazado.
Yeah, Frazado. Yeah, he fought him,
I
and
think he beat him on decision.
mhm.
Yeah.
But just seeing that for the first time, I was like, wow, they know how to set this up. They got the walkout, they got the white stage, kind of like a Metamorphs theme, and then everyone's watching. You got all the local guys watching their people, and then it was a cool turnout. So then I went to the second one recently, and I liked how they did it. So I was like, that'd be cool to be up there, show off your jiu-jitsu, show what you can do.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool as a concept.
In terms of what you actually get as a spectator being there live, I feel Fight to Win Pro has the best actual package in term, just the experience of actually being there. You go get a ticket and go watch it. The live experience is the best out of all of them. I've been to EBI live. EBI is great in terms of television production, but being there live, it can be slow and just there's no walkouts. The ones that I was at was at the Orpheum Theater. I think it was in downtown Los Angeles, right near, I think, 10 Planet HQ.
Okay.
So there's people sitting on these big stage boxes on the stage, and a bunch of students who are sitting on the stage sort of waiting as well. So, and you can only observe the match from, it's a theater. So there's no, you can't
see
the
the
back
other
is backstage.
side.
Yeah, you can't see the other side. So you only see one angle, and you're, theater seating. So it's it's in a downward sort of angle. So you can see everything, but Fight to Win Pro, I feel like the lighting, the live production is really where it's at. I think it's more entertaining. I like EBI rules, but a lot of guys will, now that they know they can go to that overtime if they're strong from spiderweb or strong on escape, they'll just do. Some guys will do kind of. I'm not going to say nothing, but they won't really push it until the first overtime. I like combat jiu-jitsu. I thought that was cool.
I like combat jiu-jitsu.
I just see more slaps. I want to see solid palm strikes. I want to see.
And then they have a rule standing. I guess if you're just pushing each other around, you go down. They make you go down. They flip a coin, something like that.
Oh wow, really?
After 2 minutes.
I didn't see that.
If you're
2
just
minutes.
standing, trying to slap each other.
Well, you can't slap each other standing.
Yeah, you have to be. Somebody has to be
Somebody's
grounded,
on the ground.
or you both might have to be grounded. I think.
If the guy's sitting on his butt and I'm standing, I could slap the guy.
Superman slap, super slap.
But it's cool because it makes the positions more important. So you don't have scoring.
Yeah.
So then guys don't care about who's top, who's bottom, pass guard, not pass guard. This makes it a little bit more important.
So the big thing right now, or the most talked about sort of camp or techniques, especially after all the Gordon Ryan success and the Joe Rogan podcast with John Danaher is Danaher. Yeah, it was really I enjoyed it. I want to watch the video version of it because when he was breaking down the one match he had and he was like stop, and then he was going over okay in this position.
YouTube video of just that section.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I watched that because I listened to it on in the car.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I gotta go back and watch.
And then
that.
I just felt bad for Joe Rogan. Like,
oh yeah, he's like, so what is he gonna do next?
You
Joe?
tell me.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. He's a professor. He's like, he's quizzing Rogan on this. He's like,
what is jujitsu? What?
He's like, wrong. Jiu-jitsu is clearly the. I was like,
that's why you're a 10th Planet black belt or something.
Oh man.
I was like, wow. Man. Yeah, that was a good breakdown though. It's like, yeah. I've seen a lot of videos on it too. Like a lot of people are doing like that honey hole kind of entrance.
Yeah. I learned
it's getting very popular.
I learned that from the if you go knee slide pass and the guy kind of blocks, pivoting across the far knee, kind of sitting down in a honey hole, and then getting the toe box kind of in your armpit and finishing like the heel hook, kind of doing this sort of thing. It's like rocking a baby, kind of where like their toes are pinched in your armpit instead of like actually getting. He was Boogeyman, Richard Martinez.
I don't think Danaher calls it the honey hole.
Yeah, they probably call it something else.
I think that's like, but that seems to start picking up some popularity versus the saddle or some of the other names out there.
Shigarami.
Yeah, there's probably some very technical term for it that's correct, but I didn't really learn. I've never trained with like Paulson or Danaher, so learning it from 10th Planet guys, they called it that. I think it was, and there's a bunch of stuff where they would say the name of stuff because they have a very detailed and elaborate system at 10th Planet, and they know what they're talking about. I saw this giant like mind map of every technique. It was like this. It was a giant vector graphic, and they would start with this one technique, and it would show you all the transitions from there and all the passes, submissions, whatever. You can click each one, and it would be a YouTube instructional. And this was a massive document. Like you could print it out. It'd be like a whole wall. So they had crazy names to everything. It's like, man, I'm guessing it was.
Yeah, it is cool because there was a lot of guys at the tournament yesterday, especially for Nogi, 10th Planet guys, and they'd be yelling out the names. It's funny.
You're like Philly cheesesteak. You're like, got you.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people are doing that, like the knee reaping now, especially in Nogi. Like a lot of tournaments allow that now, so a lot of people are getting used to it. Because if you're not used to training with it, it's kind of weird whenever someone puts you in there. You're like, oh. You're doing this now? All right, let's go.
So most of the John Danaher stuff that they're showing now, the Gordon Ryan you're seeing, I mean, this is really Eric Paulson kind of stuff that went, maybe Dean Lister influenced as well. Before that. Yeah, but the guys that were kind of doing
it. The guys that kind of spread it.
Yeah. I think it's, they're obviously really good at it. I think it's just Danaher has this just ability to break stuff down and be like articulate it and teach it in a way where it just gets through to people.
Yeah. I think it's his accent.
Yeah, you believe him, right?
The rash guard.
You believe him. Yeah, he wears a rash guard and has this cool accent.
A rash guard and has an accent like that. They know what they're talking about.
So I know he did University in New Zealand. Is he from New Zealand or is he British?
I believe he's New Zealand. I think that's where he's from.
Okay. It's like, otherwise it's like, what you go out there for? It's a cool place. I want to visit someday. You've been to Australia, New Zealand? Oh, it's like a big tourist thing there, huh? Go to New Zealand for.
Yeah, I went New Zealand last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, it was cool. I didn't really train. I trained at Auckland. Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I think in New Zealand there's a lot more. Australia too is a lot more like MMA based gyms too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of MMA gyms over there.
A lot of those guys coming over and fighting at ONE FC, right? And do they have a promotion? I mean, obviously UFC has been there, and there's a few UFC athletes from Australia coming out. They had Ultimate Fighter there. It was like Australia versus England, yeah.
I don't know.
Something like that a number of years ago.
I don't know. Gary Tonan's doing ONE FC, I think.
Oh, is he?
That's gonna.
Wow.
Debut's coming.
Yeah, it's his first fight. It's gonna be in March, I think.
That was fun.
He did a submission match against Aoki.
Shinyoki.
Was that who?
Shinyoki, was it?
He did something. He tapped some guy out over there.
And then they brought him in.
But now he's doing pro, yeah. He's trying to get paid some real money.
Yeah. I think he'll do pretty good. How's Ryan Hall doing? Is he still doing UFC?
I didn't follow it really after Ultimate Fighter. People will talk about him a lot on Ultimate Fighter, and I don't have the spare time to really watch that much TV. And UFC's on so often, so it's unless it's a guy from our gym or someone we know.
The last Ryan Hall fight I saw was him versus Gray Maynard, and he won a decision.
Wow.
You know, he looked all right.
Gray
He's
Maynard,
doing like some
that's
karate
pretty
kicks
good.
in there.
Yeah, Gray Maynard was top of the food chain. Everybody thought he was going to be the 155 champion. You know, when he was fighting Frankie, you know, he won that first round big time, and I mean, he was right there, number one contender. So that's a great victory.
Yeah. It's good to see like the jiu-jitsu people stepping up and doing like the MMA, you know. It's
Jacare just
Jacare.
tapped, just kicked some guy in the head,
oh yeah.
knocked him out. I
Dang.
think last night.
Man,
Yeah, I heard he was fighting. Dan the Man was saying he was gonna fight yesterday. I
Yeah.
didn't get to check it out.
First
but-
round, kicked to the
Dang.
head, stand.
Stand up.
Yeah.
and seeing a guy like Ryan Hall go out there, and he's badass jiu-jitsu, but there's some of these MMA fighters, just what's the Cuban Whitaker, is it? Guys like that, and Yoel Romero. They're just terrifying, man. It's a different level. It's a different level. You're gonna go out there and go against a guy like
kind
that.
of anomaly, that guy, man.
Oh man, he's got like that superhero frame.
Yeah.
He's like 40 something. Man.
He's so scary. He's so scary. He was the one. No forget Jesus. No forget Jesus. They'll say like
His
don't
warm-up,
forget.
he's doing like full splits and backflips and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, you got to be nimble when you're preparing to maul somebody. What was
Yeah, I saw Nicolini one recently.
Oh yeah,
Mackenzie Dern, I heard she might be doing some. Is she doing
Mackenzie
UFC?
Dern's
She got signed.
Yeah,
She got signed.
UFC. That'd be pretty.
She's like 3-0 or 4-0.
Yeah, she had a great armbar victory in her third fight, I thought.
That's crazy. Yeah.
See,
I always just see it on like Instagram or Facebook. Someone posted it. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Doing good.
I saw her at a seminar the other day with what's her name? Last name Barrett, Kaka. I was talking.
Yeah, the one you.
Her nickname's
Did
Kaka.
you say caca?
Kaka. That's her name.
Like poo poo?
I don't know. No.
I don't know.
She's fighting Aaron Hurley at Fight to Win in Orange County.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they were there at the seminar that was at the other day. They were all kicked it with Leo
Was this-
Vieira.
What seminar was this?
Leo Vieira.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was
Cold
really
Iron's place.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. I got invited. I'm like, yeah, I can't miss that. I'm going to go to that. Leo's like one of the nicest people ever. So it was cool to, learn some stuff. I think I was like the,
Legendary jiu-jitsu competitor.
oh, hell yeah.
He's still out in Long Beach.
Yeah. So he has the Long Beach, their Checkmate HQ. And then they also have that dojo gym. It's just called Dojo. I don't know if he owns it or whatever,
Is that
but
for
it's,
kids only?
no, I don't think so.
No? Fair enough.
I think it's just Checkmate.
Dojo Outfitters.
Dojo Outfitters, man. This came out with that cool YouTube
Portland,
video.
Oregon.
Like, I'm really glad he put that out there.
Perfect the craft.
Yeah, it's got nice production. I like the intro. It's just the sweep he showed. I'm always sort of harping
Yeah,
on.
I was like, not even just the move, just the production, just the way it looked, his
intro.
personality coming out,
Yeah,
It was a really good video.
yeah.
I'm sure he's gonna have a lot of members subscribing to that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. He's had a loyal fan base going back to when he was doing snapbacks, and then he did he was doing his Nawaza Life blog. He had a lot of subscribers on his blog, man. He's got a great personality. That's one of the favorite podcasts I've
He's
done.
a one world black belt.
It's a one world black belt. I was stoked, man. Me and Andy got our black belts the same day from Master Mike over here, so that was a cool experience. So I always liked that guy a lot. And he's been super successful with Dojo Outfitters. He went out and they did a seminar in Japan, which is cool, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he's
What was it? The Passion for Passion.
oh yeah, those events,
That
man.
was really cool.
We had David Mitchell was out there, and he made semifinals.
He beat his first guy, and then he lost a. Man, it was a pretty exciting match. I thought against Jeremy Jackson.
Jeremy Jackson, man.
Jeremy Jackson's a beast.
Jacksinho,
Right.
yeah.
He's one of the top competitors coming out of Northern California.
Oh yeah, in terms of brown belts,
and I
man.
believe he's got a fight on Fight to Win Pro coming up.
I think he is on there. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember who his opponent is, but yeah.
Didn't he go against Danny No, it wasn't Danny. I know Danny Bohegan's going soon.
He's got a fight.
He's on there too.
That's right.
Yeah,
Danny's a
spell
black
check,
belt.
yeah.
Spell check. Well, he's the Philosopher grappler now.
Yeah,
Right?
Philosopher.
He upgraded from spell check to philosophy.
He'll always be spell check to me.
I know, right? Because
Yeah, he was actually in Costa Rica the same time I was in.
Oh
Costa
yeah.
Rica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
He was
Cool.
in like the rainforest area though when I was at the beach, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be going that way soon. But then he went back to the city. But yeah, they were out there too. It's crazy. Small world.
Man, he looks like one of those dudes that knows a lot about beer, like craft beer, because he has like that barber shop, like the perfect. He's always got like that perfect fade, and like he can grow way more hair than I can. So it's like, yeah, if I had a bunch of hair,
He
I'm
likes
like,
beer. I know that.
see, he looks like he would know a lot about beer or whiskey or something, like because.
When he talks about it, he's gonna go like this.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Shout out to Jason Pizarro. Doesn't he have a craft beer?
Yeah, in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah. You work.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm gonna actually. Yeah, I'll be out in Hawaii in April, so I'll
There you go.
hit him up, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I know, I feel bad.
Globetrotter right
It'll be like the week before. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta tell Mike I'm not gonna be here next week. I'm like, yeah, by the way, I won't be here next week. Yeah.
Man, everybody that goes to Hawaii, I think Oahu, they say, hey, they knew me from One World. They knew it. And it's like, I said, it's all Fuki, man. But out there, he trained some spots. I don't know.
Todd Tanaka, he's out there.
cool,
Hells
cool.
and Gracie spot. He's
Like
really
somebody
cool.
was wearing a shirt. Who was out there? Somebody was wearing a One World shirt. And somebody spotted him and said, hey, you know One World? You know? They probably brought your name up. And so, yeah, come train with us.
So that was what's his name? BJJ Globetrotter, Christian Grogard. He said the One World shirt is his favorite shirt because like it's sturdy, it held up.
Yeah, nice.
So like years
That's
later,
the only nice thing he had to say about One World.
no, he mentioned us in the book. He mentioned in the book.
Yeah, the book, yeah.
Yeah, no, he says his favorite shirt so far.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me.
I've seen some pictures of him wearing it.
That's cool, man.
I was in when I was in Costa Rica. I was walking on the beach, and then it was so funny. And then I see this guy walking towards me, and I was like, oh, and I think he was selling something, but I was like, oh, and then I was like, does that say Kyle Terra? And he had like the Kyle Terra shirt. I was like, hey, what's up, man? You train? And he was like, he didn't know what I was talking about, so I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure someone just gave him a shirt when they were out there. But I was like, that's funny, dude, because he was just walking around like rocking it. I was like, hey, Kyle Terra, what's up, man? And then I was like, you do jiu-jitsu? He's like, he just shook his head. He's like, oh, karate? He would like this? He would like karate like this? And I was like, oh, never mind.
Man, that means somebody put it in Salvation Army. Sorry, man. No. I was walking through Palo
Well, I
Alto.
think Alejandro was at Kyle's gym for a while.
He was
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. And I think
Is he still under?
He's part of Aries, I think.
Oh, he's
I'm
Aries
not
now.
Sure, but I think.
yeah, I think Alejandro's, he's training under Moya. He's the black belt I was training with out in San Jose, Costa Rica. He's a black belt under Jen down there.
Oh, wow.
There's another guy from out here that's a black belt. He trained mostly with Dave Camarillo, and then he got his black belt from Glow. It's like a 4th or 5th degree black belt that teaches in San Jose. And I think he was living out there for a while, teaching. Him and Alejandro were good friends.
In Costa Rica.
But I don't know if he's still out there.
Yeah, Glow. He's a bigger dude, yeah.
Big dude.
Big dude.
But he's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they said whenever I was talking to the locals over there that were training at the gym I was at in Tamarindo, Huaca, they were like, yeah, there's supposed to be like a black belt over there that's almost like a red belt. He's like no, not like a red belt, but they said like he's been a black belt. He has like 50 or 30 black belts underneath him.
Damn.
And then they're like, yeah, but he just doesn't train anymore. And I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. But they said, yeah, there's someone living out there in Costa Rica, like that's pretty close to them. But he didn't want to take over the gym there because I guess he knew the owner before that, and he didn't want to be like stepping on his toes. So he said he wouldn't teach there because that was his friend's old gym or something. But yeah, they're like, yeah, there's some black belt out here. He just retired, I guess, and moved out here. He doesn't really do jiu-jitsu too much anymore. But I was like, if he has that many black belts under him, that's kind of crazy.
The dude finally
like
like
really
retired. He lives in paradise, and people are trying to get him to go do snake move. Be like, no, hell no, he's going home. It's like none of my fingers move right anymore.
I know.
All crazy. Arthritis, man. That's crazy. There's so many of these like legends and stuff. I mean, Hickson got his red belt, but he don't want it.
Well, yeah, he's trying to standardize the time frame.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to go against that, I guess. From what I hear.
Yeah.
Some controversy going on with Hickson too.
Oh, what it like? A couple of his students maybe didn't pass a background check or something
like that. Yeah.
Well,
background check for what?
Well, no. There's apparently some black belts that are instructors or just black belts under his lineage. I don't know directly under him, but it turns out that they were sex offenders, like actually convicted, but they're still teaching, or they were as of the time this was reported. And that's a big thing. Like you go to IBJJF, you sign up, there's a background check. And I'm pretty sure if you're fucking shady, you're not getting that certificate. Like you can't just, but
That's a good idea. I should just start making everybody do background checks.
black
Okay,
belts.
you got anything in your past?
DUI, is that
Oh, you couldn't play in the XFL with that. They said the moral character clause or something,
DUIs?
immorality. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they're making it a big deal now because like it's like TMZ, and they just had WWE just had their cruiserweight champion accused of rape, so he's like they immediately fired him because he didn't disclose it. So like for XFL, they're like, no, they're not trying to have any PR nightmares. So, and they said any DWI or like
Really?
they said no criminals, like they got to be of good moral standing to compete in the league. So yeah, for jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, you can't go to Canada if you have a
Yeah.
DUI also.
they're serious. Like any
I'm almost, I think I'm done with it this year though, because I got in like '07, so it's been like 10 years, so it should be like expunged, I guess. But
yeah, Canada takes it seriously. Like they're
I'll try it out this year. If I get turned back, then I'm like, oh, shit.
Canada just finds any reason to keep Americans out right now.
yeah, so it's supposed to be pretty hard to immigrate out there from here.
Yeah. I never really wanted to go out there, but once I got my DUI and all, I couldn't go out there. I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
man, I want to go out there now.
It's like, don't tell me no. What do you mean? So,
Yeah.
man,
We actually got some events coming up this year that are in Canada, so hoping to try it out, I'll just get planning on getting the global entry too. So if I get that, then I should be good to go.
you have the TSA pre, yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, it changes
So much
the
easier,
whole
yeah.
experience. You walk through there, you feel like you won something.
Yeah.
So you go through security, and you just go right through. You put your bag down. You don't take your laptop off. Your belt stays on. You don't get frisked. Your shoes stay on.
Yeah, I think the best thing is
Right
the
through.
laptop and your shoes.
Yeah.
You can just go in, and you don't have to go through that scanner.
Nope.
Like I don't know what that scanner is doing. Give you
No
like,
lines.
No. Well, what you could do,
shorter lines for sure.
you have this. There's a separate line, but what I had clear before that.
Yeah, clears. It's
so-
not everywhere.
But if it's there, you can use clear to skip that line and TSA pre to go through the rest. So I've done that before where you just go boom, because you fingerprint using clear, and that gets you to the security part. And then if you have TSA pre, you go right through security. But clear isn't everywhere. Like Newark Airport didn't have clear, and that's why I got TSA pre,
pre, yeah.
because going through that security, and I sound really spoiled or whatever, but like if you travel any,
If you go
know,
a good amount,
yeah.
it kind of sucks staying in line, having to take off your shoes, take out your laptop, lay everything out nicely so they can see it.
well, because the process of doing all that, just to go to maybe Vegas or go to LA and stuff. I've driven to LA so many times because it's just going to the airport. Okay, where am I put the car? All this thing. Hell no, I just rent a car and just drive right to LA because within 4 hours. Because with going on the airplane, you have to be there like an hour or something beforehand. Blah blah blah. Then when you get there, you got to get your stuff back, and they went through it. It's a whole big thing. But with TSA pre, you don't have to get there an hour and a half early. You just go when your flight is. You just go right through. Shoes stay on,
I
laptop.
always get randomly selected though, at least like 50% of the time. Like I walk through the metal detector and like 2 seconds later he'll beep. I'm like, man, that was super late. And then they're like, oh, sorry, you have to come back.
For TSA pre,
Yeah.
like you went through the process. Like to get TSA pre,
That's
you
why
got
I
to
try
show
like
up.
if I'm wearing a beanie, I'll try and take it off before like cameras see me, or else I feel like they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna beat this guy right here.
Man, that's suspect. Like I've gotten searched a couple times just before I got TSA pre. They're like you have to, they want to find like dust or something on your hands or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because I was clearly all right. But actually, the security going to Cuba and back was easy. It was really easy. I was wondering, oh man, we're going to Fidel Castro regime, this whole thing. Hell no.
Coming out the same way.
It was easier going in.
Right.
Coming back, they took one of these base stands because they're like kind of like granite. It's pretty heavy. Because some microphones like this
On their
one's
side,
heavy.
they took it or on our side? US.
No, Cuba coming back. Yeah, so the Cuban guys like you can't take this on the plane because I had it as a carry on. Then I guess they don't want you like
Hit somebody in the
bludgeoning
head.
somebody. Yeah, because this thing like it looks light, but it ain't. Like you could hurt somebody with this, I guess. But the U.S. going into Cuba, they're like whatever. And then getting through customs, they're like, huh? They look
So
right at
random.
it.
It depends on the person who's doing it. I mean, like I'll
Yeah.
have sometimes because when I work, I'll bring a power drill, and it's like a small like Hitachi one, but I take the bit out and stuff, and then sometimes I'll get through it, and then sometimes like I'll leave it in there on accident, and they'll be like, oh, you can't travel with this. I'm like, all right, you can throw the bit away. They're like, no, it's a power tool, you can't use it. I think they think I'm gonna take the airplane apart or something. But I was like, all right, so usually I have to go back, check it in like a box or something, But yeah, this last time I went to Vegas, I forgot it, and then it was in there. I was like, I didn't have time, so I was like, yeah, you guys can keep it, whatever. And then
I ain't a gremlin. You trying to break the plane apart?
Oh man, the
Then
terror
you go down,
of
like, start taking off the
20,000 feet,
doors.
whatever.
I was like,
Remember that Twilight Zone episode, like the terror at 20,000 feet or something, where like the guy thinks he sees like this monster on the wing taking the plane apart. It's crazy.
Gremlin.
Yeah, they think you're trying to pull that move. I think it was like Alfred Hitchcock or Twilight Zone or something.
yeah, it was crazy because when I went to Costa Rica, I was gonna I flew into the city, San Jose. It's in like the middle of the country, and then like the beach, of course, is like 3-hour drive, 4-hour drive. So then we are gonna take this little plane. I think is by Nature Air, and it's like a 45-minute flight to the beach. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. And then like, luckily I didn't book the flight first, but then like a little bit after that, one of those planes went down and it killed like 12 people, and it was the same airline too. And I was like, and I was asking like Alejandro and them about it. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. And then so right when we flew in, I rented a car and I just drove around the whole island. I was like, cool off of that, man. Those small planes are. Yeah,
Dude,
I guess it was like really windy that day, and it went down into the forest, and it just like.
So that was landing San Jose, Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
So the last trip I took to Brazil a couple years back, my flight was meant to stop in San Jose and then keep going to Goiânia or São Paulo or something like that. But I got woken up like probably an hour before we were supposed to land in San Jose, and they said, sorry, we have to divert to Panama City, Panama. Because the plane that was landing first, in front of us, there was like a landing gear malfunction and it crashed on the runway.
Oh dang!
I don't think anybody got hurt, but they diverted all these flights. Like they basically shut the airport down and everybody landed in Panama City, Panama. Like all these international flights. So this airport was like mayhem because
so many aircrafts coming down, and you probably had to stay the night there or something.
They gave us vouchers. They booked us in this hotel, and this taxi driver that was like running all these red lights and didn't give, didn't care at all. Was like taking us around, and Panama City was pretty cool. But yeah, that's crazy. Like hearing over the loudspeaker when you just woke up from a flight, being on an international flight. It was a red eye, so being woken up and telling us.
Stem cell shots down there.
Oh, where?
Panama.
Well, dude, Panama was weird, man. Everything was in US dollars, so it was expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It was weird. It was like a city with like beach paradise around it, and they had like little casinos.
It's US dollars.
That's
crazy.
The canal, right?
Like how it was in Costa Rica too. Like you go to the touristy areas like Tamarindo and stuff. Like a lot of them, they'd rather have US dollars. So they give you the menu, it's all in US dollars.
Man,
so I was like, no, I got colones. I'm trying to pay that.
When I was in Brazil, I would pull out some dollars sometimes, and like a taxi guy or somebody would see it, and their eyes would just light up. Oh,
yeah.
I was like, no, this is mine. I'm gonna give you.
Those eyes. No.
I think when I first got there, I think I gave the taxi driver like a $10 bill. Oh man, he was stoked. Biggest smile. He got the let me take the luggage for you.
He dust it off for you.
If you need anything, he's like, here's my number. Call me.
Oh, that's cool. Like it's cool having like a legit taxi driver. Like I was in Mexico once for work, and I got this yellow cab driver, and he's like just trying to take me all over. He's like, just give me a call. I'll be at the hotel. It's like, all right, cool. But then they were trying. He's like, okay. I was like, I need to go to Telcel. It was the mobile phone, like the headquarters for this. It's like ours, like AT&T, like Telcel is the big one in Mexico. I was like, I need to go here, then to the hotel. He's like, okay. When do you want to go to see the girls and the pharmacy? I'm like, no. I'm like very clearly like we are going. We're good there. He's like, no problem. 24 hours, whatever you need. I was like, I need to go to Telcel, go get some phones and do some work, and then I need to go.
Oh, you mean girls and pharmacies? Yeah.
No, he repeated himself like 8 times. Like he was. Because I think
I think you're talking in code.
No, these guys were like, in some kind of system. I think where like they are paid to take people certain places, like big time.
Vegas,
Yeah, they're like,
jump in there.
It's like I know a place, right? Be like, yeah, you do. We're good. We're good. We're not going there.
It takes you to the brothel. Telcel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, be like, no, I tell you no, Cell. Take my ass back there. I'm paying for all that. Crazy. It's craziness. There's so much craziness, guys. The world's weird.
It is weird.
When did the world get so? Like, was it always this weird? I feel like it's weirder now.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot more people.
I feel like way more people don't like. They give way less of shit about stuff. Like a lot of people just let loose with their just crazy. You look at TV
There's
and
a lot of things that we're probably not used to. You know, technology.
no, it's not. It's weird.
We're not used to that. But
You look on TV and do they even still make Saturday Night Live? Because the real shit's
Oh, yeah,
already
they do.
it's already funny. The real shit's
you
already.
know what? I watch mostly Netflix, and Amazon Prime.
I don't have cable
I don't watch
anymore.
movies or any series.
I get tired of being advertised to all the
Black Mirror,
time.
Netflix, really good.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah, I watch
Electric
like
Dreams on Amazon Prime. It's similar to Black Mirror, same type of thing.
I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of Black Mirror. That was crazy. I watched
see
like
all the pig?
I watched the VR one and I watched that social media one.
It's cool.
It was crazy, yeah. It's like the
You gotta watch the first episode.
really.
episode.
They said like everyone said like skip the first season or whatever because it's not as
The one with the
good.
pig.
So I haven't seen it.
I don't think
Oh, you haven't
any-
seen any of them?
Nothing. No.
I don't think any of
Get
them
on it.
ended like happy.
Oh, the
at
VR
end.
one with the kid at the end where he has to
Yeah.
fight. Oh, that was so crazy.
the
I was like, I didn't see that coming.
social media one where like everyone's rated, so you
Right,
see
right,
somebody. Those,
right.
yeah, it's crazy. It's like how the future may be and the
Yeah.
horrors of it.
Those are good,
Pretty
man.
crazy.
So have you seen that movie Bright yet? The Will
Right, I
Smith
saw
one.
It, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was entertaining. It's good.
It's a
Orcs
net.
and fairies and
Yeah, it's Will Smith, and there's orcs, and there's an orc that's a police officer,
South
but
Central LA or
there's a
something.
lot of like racial sort of stuff to it.
Like Zootopia with Will Smith.
You ever seen that show True Blood?
Was Will Smith in Zootopia?
Zootopia, it's good.
Zootopia was good.
Yeah, I like that
I
movie.
got kids. I seen it. You don't have kids. I don't know what. I'm watching that.
I watched it like 3 times.
What was so Bright was like if there were orcs and fairies in the real world, but it was like right now, modern times, like maybe kind of like Grimm. If you ever seen anything like that one, I think there's another show like that where it's like fairy tale type stuff. That's where it's like modern, but there's all that magic stuff like in it. Then like using magic's illegal, and it's like it's more like it's a police show. But it's like there's a lot of like racial sort of stuff in there. There's like a lot of like kind of I don't know some about like social justice kind of things, and I was cool. I was really happy to see it. Tate Fletcher's actually in one of the opening fight scenes. I'm like, yeah, Clint Cronin show alum. It's like I see him in everything now. He's in like every movie.
Yeah, I was disappointed there was no jujitsu in it, but
Not like
good.
not like John Wick
John
Jitsu. So Tate Fletcher was in that too.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Which one?
I think both. Yeah, he was in the first one for sure.
Dude, I just saw something today that like Demi Lovato got her blue belt.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like the singer.
I think
girl
that was
or
a while
whatever.
back.
Yeah.
I saw a
month
picture.
ago,
I was like,
month,
she does
2 months ago.
jujitsu. That's
Well,
crazy.
yeah,
She's been doing jujitsu.
Well, she used to date what's his name?
Bourdain,
Luke Rockhold.
She used to date Luke, and then she dated the dude in
that's
Bellator
crazy.
Some other
after.
guy, yeah, she's dating
Yeah, she's
a
really into this stuff.
black belt instructor, I think. I don't know.
Oh wow,
It's crazy.
But
Bourdain's
Pretty cool.
blue belt now.
is he still doing?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't he?
He
Wasn't
had a
he?
split with his wife.
Oh, the
Oh,
wife
for
was a
real?
competitor.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're divorced.
he. I think so.
He
Yeah,
was hardcore. He said he trained every day,
yeah.
every single day.
I really like his show a lot, man. Just he's very.
The show with Kurt Osiander. Oh man, that was good.
I used his tripod. I borrowed Anthony Bourdain's one of his production guys' tripod when I was over at Kurt's house. So we were there New Year's Day last year, and he cooked us like squirrel and like they had this sausage called like boudin or something like that. But it was I think that was what it was called. But it was basically sausage that he taught a seminar somewhere down south, you know. And
Oh yeah, they like squirrels down
and it was like squirrel and some other rodent, and they made sausage out of it with like rice or whatever. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't care how good it tastes. I'm not eating.
It was spicy. It was because it's like it was spicy and it had it was good.
Yeah, I think I would try it once. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're there. It's
I'm not
New Year's
that
Day.
adventurous.
The whiskey's
Squirrel,
flowing.
though, I never heard of people eating squirrel, but
Oh yeah,
I've seen it
people
on,
do.
you know, Animal Planet and Planet Earth and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
some guys from Louisiana I met they said they would.
Yeah, I think that's where he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's crazy.
you
I
go.
heard people eating like guinea pig and stuff like that.
I just
but
don't see a reason.
it's
to
like
eat
there's
squirrel.
not that much meat on it, you know.
Imagine if
Plenty
you're.
of other meats to choose from.
I think it's just if people don't have a whole lot of means or whatever, and they're in the yard, just throw a rock or so. I don't know, man. I've never thought to eat a squirrel in my life, but you're at Kurt's house, you're shooting bow and arrows in the backyard. He set up like not a target on the fence behind his house, and I'm like, he's using a compound bow and launching arrows towards his next door neighbor's house. I'm like, Kurt,
Zero fucks given.
how many arrows have you landed in that guy's backyard? Do they have a dog? I'm like, Kurt. He's like, nah, man, they're pretty cool about it. I'm like, you haven't killed anything yet, have you? And he's like, no. I was like, all right, well, not that he'd try, but man, one could slip or whatever, and somebody just
Never know.
That's crazy. My brother would kill squirrels in his backyard with a pellet gun, and then he was practicing his what is that when you skin the animal? Taxidermy, and he would make wallets and little purses out of the squirrel skins.
Little tails on them.
So yeah, my little nephew came running.
Little
nephew came running out. Little nephew came running out of the house. He's like, "Hey, check this out!" And it was a little squirrel purse. I was like, I don't want to touch it.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know if he's still doing that. It was a little hobby he had on the side.
It's got the feet on it.
Dude.
You have the feet are like.
So you picked jujitsu, and he's killing squirrels in the backyard, man.
He was doing jiu-jitsu for a while. He was really,
That's true.
good.
That's
man.
true.
He was really good, but
That's funny.
found some other hobbies to get.
No, I see that. Man, that's an interesting one. I don't know.
They got black squirrels over here. I was just talking to him. I was like, man, you guys got black squirrels over here.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
saw.
we got black squirrels everywhere. You never seen black squirrel?
I never did before the Bay Area. We had just gray ones back east, and everywhere else I've lived or been in my life, we didn't have black squirrels. We got parrots in this town
It's a little
too,
racist.
huh?
racist.
I just didn't live near any. I didn't judge
Why?
them,
What are they doing?
huh? They were living in the Bay Area. They knew where to live. It was way better weather than any place else I've lived in the freaking world.
Yeah, I think I seen them somewhere else. I don't know where, but yeah, there was
see
like
them all
one
the
right
time.
here when I parked. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. We have we have raccoons. They were trying to get into like the attic area at one point, so we had to come over. They tore the mesh out like kind of in the roof, so they like went up there and just started ripping it out and like started living up in there.
Janice had a skunk living in her house. that she had to get
Oh
rid of.
no! Did she get
Like,
sprayed?
underneath in the-
She did something. Yeah, she had to hire somebody or something to get in there.
We have possums that they roll through the backyard. I was grilling out there. I put it on Instagram. It just looks right at me. It didn't even care. I'm like banging this chair on the porch out back, and
He's
it's
like,
like,
hey, can you keep it down?
yeah, he's like, yeah, it's a chair. We have those all over the place. I got like 3. What? Then my dog's out there, and I'm like, oh, dude, she's got this. And she looks up at it, and the dog looks at me and gives me that look like, you got a number to call for something like this? Like, I'm gonna go back inside. I'm like, you have one job. One job. Like, you got all this muscle. Like, you look all fierce, and it's like, she looks over, and she's like, ugh. Could you call somebody? I don't want to fucking. It's like you would think that she'd get my back and be like, "I got this. I'm gonna go dog real quick." She saw a mouse and she went after it like it was on. Like she goes like diving into the ivy in the back.
Dogs will tear up some possums if they get there.
No, she just looked at it and it looked back and she's like,
Too much work, maybe.
"Yeah, it was far." She's
Yeah,
like,
if it was on the ground close to her, I'm pretty sure she would rip it up.
"I don't know." Like, well, she could, but I don't know. I wouldn't want because then you got to worry because she already has all her shots, but like you don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't want to get rabies.
Yeah, hell no. Because or get it all like
Man, I was leaving
scratched
the
up or
gym,
something.
The academy one night, and I was going up the street, and I don't know. I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. I was on my phone real quick, as I was driving, and I look up, and there was a possum right in front of me,
Oh,
and I didn't stop. I kept going. I ran it over, and I heard a little, and I was like, "Oh man, I hope I didn't kill that possum." I turned around, it's just still standing there.
what?
And it's looking at me, and you could see it in the rear
He's
view.
like-
You could see its teeth, like it's angry. And I was like, just kept driving, took off.
He's like,
I was
come
like, he's
back
all right.
here.
He's all right.
It tried to
They're
play
not easy
possum.
to kill, I don't think.
Nah, apparently not. Your car didn't do it.
Yeah.
Actually, your car's not that
My
low to
truck. It
ground.
was my truck. Yeah.
Oh, it
but
pro-
I heard the thumps. It
The
hit,
thump?
Probably
definitely
like
made
hit
some
his
contact.
back or something.
It was
made the
pissed.
Some
wall.
contact, but it didn't knock it over or anything.
He didn't play possum. Or
He got a little angry.
Start running after you start driving.
I just took off.
So, do they actually play possum or do they faint?
I don't know what the thing is. I don't know.
I never seen it play possum. I don't think.
Yeah, this thing just
That's what
looked
you
at
say
me.
if a bear attacks you. You're supposed to play dead.
You
How
got
do you play dead if a bear's on, How do
quiet,
you,
quiet,
how do you not?
quietly shit your pants with your eyes closed is what they mean. Because I think that's what had happened. Man, what was the Revenant?
Yeah, Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio.
Wow, that guy got fucked up by that bear. That was an awesome scene. I'm like, because
Well, he was getting jacked up the whole movie, wasn't he?
but that bear fucked him up.
Yeah.
But besides that,
You're not surviving a bear attack.
no, like he got thrashed, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get away this time. He shot him. It's all good. No, he fucked him up again. He did it again. He got him again. He was
But he
victimized.
was already jacked. He was buried in the dirt, wasn't he already?
Yeah.
Yo, that was after the bear
He got
attack.
shot or something?
No, yeah,
Was
he's-
it after or before?
I think the bear attack was first, and it's like this guy's fucking useless. Like, what do we do with him?
It's like Denzel Washington, man. You can't. He's unstoppable.
It's honey badger shit.
Did like Book of Eli or
Oh, that's right.
what was
Yeah.
the other movie when Denzel, the Russian, where he takes out the Russian mob with tools from Home Depot?
I don't know. I know John Wick was like he killed like the whole Russian mob or like the whole like every criminal in this, and they're all
It's kind of like
hitmen.
Taken, you know? They just like kill everybody in the movie.
I just saw a new Taken sort of movie with this Liam Neeson where he's on a train.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the same thing though, right? Yeah.
No, but
It was like something like they were supposed to find out who is the person on the train that's.
dude, it was.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I just saw it because I got that movie pass thing where you can go to as many movies as you want for like for $90 a year.
$90 a year.
Yeah, it was on Black Friday deal. Now it's $10 a month, but you can go to a movie every single day. You get a movie ticket every day.
Which theaters?
Any. Oh, except AMC Mercado because they got in a fight with them over pricing. They said like you can't have prices this low. Like it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But any Cinemark, like
$10 a
Any
month.
other
That's super
AMCs
cheap.
besides Mercado?
yeah, it's
That's
so
super
the Century Cinemas don't. They're
I think it's
fine.
because everyone like waits till it's pirated and then they'll watch it online. So they're probably not making money. So like we gotta do something.
Dude, I see everything now.
That's crazy.
So imagine it's hot and you don't want to pay for electricity. You could just go right to the theater. They have great AC. Take a little nap. You're done.
Yeah.
I did that with that Ninja Turtle movie.
$10 a month. Though, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he told that story.
Yeah, it was just really hot one day, and I'm like, I'm going to movies because I have one of those like portable ACs that we don't have central
it's
air.
fun to get out of the house and just go watch a movie or
I
just
haven't
get
watched
out.
one in a
you know?
while.
Those recliner chairs at the Cinemark, come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
they got ponche queijo there too.
Oh yeah.
You just say
nice.
I'd like the Brazil bread, and they make it.
Back in the
Cheese
day,
bread.
Yep.
in the day, we used to go to a Blockbuster, this place where they had VHS tapes.
Yep.
You could walk in there and
Just
walk
be
around.
Blockbuster.
HS.
To
Oh,
go in there. It was like a little Friday night or Saturday night thing. Hey, let's go to
I
Blockbuster.
know. You go
Kinda hang out
by,
a
look
little
at the
bit.
VHSs.
They're all the same
Well-
movies, but like,
Yeah,
What-
they have that new release section, you know. It's like, and then
Oh.
sometimes like they'll have the cover there, but the actual thing is not behind it anymore. Like
there was
it's all sold
there
out.
was Hollywood video.
Hollywood
as well.
Video. There was Blockbuster. And there was what else was there before that? And I used to like my favorite one was the local ones, like the small business ones. I like those
Oh, yeah,
better.
yeah. There was one like down the street from my house back in the day too.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
no,
those
there
little
was-
hole in the
yeah.
wall ones. You're just
Yeah,
like, yeah,
you-
what you guys got?
I used to rent like the NES cartridges from there.
Oh, yeah,
There was
you
a
go rent video
Japanese. There was a
games.
Japanese one in Mountain View, and you can get the fights, the MMA fights from Japan back in the day. They had them all
Pride
there.
and stuff.
Had, like
Yeah.
hard to find stuff.
My first two trips to Brazil in like 06 and 07, there was a little video store. We're in like small part of Goiânia, like the kind of out of the way area. That's like, I mean, there's still like 3-4 million people there, but it's not like Rio. There's a lot of people. There's a million cities in Brazil where like nobody's heard of them, but there's over 2 million people. So I go to the video store there, and because they didn't have cable, my ex-in-laws, they didn't have any like cable or like.
Are they in English?
So
Like
if
subtitles.
you would, when you'd get a DVD, you would have the option for legendas or like either subtitles or the voice,
Dubbed.
like voiceover, dubbed stupid. But like most stuff that you'd rent anyway would be in English, where they would dub it to
I
Portuguese.
saw a movie in Brazil. I can't remember what it was now.
That's
Went to a theater. We saw it was an American movie.
that was the first place I ever had assigned seats at a theater was in Brazil in a Cinemark, and they had pão de queijo there, the cheese bread. And then I went to the Cinemark in Mountain View, and I saw on the
Like
very
instead of popcorn, just a big old box of.
no, it was small
Like
because
3 or 4?
dude, they charge so much for those stupid little cheese balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they brought it to my work one time. They were trying to sell like 3 for $5.
Yeah.
and they're like this
It's a
big, and I was like,
You've been to Brazil a lot.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any cattle out there?
Cattle, yeah,
You have.
yes.
Okay.
They're not like yoked like ours. They're like Mexico-sized cows.
They eat a lot of meat there.
They do. Like
I stayed in the city, so that's probably.
Yeah, no, you gotta go see the vaqueros. They're in Goiás. They had a lot, like Distrito Federal, like outside on the outskirts of like where Brasilia is. There's a lot of farmland out there, a lot of like rolling hills and shit. Yeah,
See too
Probably
much
chop down the
farmland.
rainforest to get that.
a lot of it. Yeah, that's because that's like on the outskirts. That is rainforest all in there, right? So that's where the big river is.
Brazilian steakhouse, man. I'm actually
I guess-
going tonight. I'm supposed to like be cutting weight, but it's my mom's birthday.
They just
dinner,
opened a new one over here. Remember where Elephant Bar used to be at? No, was it Elephant Bar? Like there's,
Stevens Creek.
I think so. I think there's one like right over in that area. They opened one like right near somewhere over in Sunnyvale, Cupertino. I just
Like
Wasn't it a
photos
I thought it was a Korean barbecue spot. No? I think it's another spot, like a Jen or something.
Oh yeah, Jen's good.
I know either Cupertino or Sunnyvale. Like I've seen it like twice now driving around that there's a new Escudilla. I just don't remember exactly where I saw it.
Have you ever been to? We're going to one today. It's called Gelato. It's in Oakland.
No.
But I still like that the pictures, like I guess like all the Warriors guys go there and stuff too. But it looked like a really good spot. I think they serve like seafood and stuff too.
Oh,
I was
cool,
like,
cool.
that's cool.
Where'd we go?
Yeah, if
I
I'm
was
paying
like, man, I
50
gotta-
$50 a plate. I'm trying to
I
get as much
know.
meat as possible.
Man,
I look stupid when I go there too, because I'm always go there. I get like a plate full of rice. I just sit down and wait for the meat. And when I put the rice on, I put so much that everyone
Why
looks at me.
rice? That's gonna fill you up. Just
I
get
know,
some
but
greens,
I
get
need
little
like some kind of
vegetables.
filler, and
I'll
like,
get-
rice is my go-to.
if they have feijoada, because I don't.
Yeah, feijoada's good.
I'll get that with Farofa and like some rice, just because I like not a lot though. I don't want to fill up on it, but I like that food with like get a little spicy, the little hot sauce thing in there, the little
Yeah,
pepper
those
ones.
little peppers, those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
really good.
But generally, I'm waiting for the meat because
Yeah.
I know the game, you know.
Yeah.
And
They want you to fill up on all that stuff, but I just get like rice.
so my deal is I find the one that has the best lunch menu or like the lunch menu that's
Torina's
closest
has a
to.
pretty good lunch
Tor-
menu. It's like $25 or like $30 with tax.
Because otherwise it's 60, and I look at what's the difference between their lunch and dinner. Because some of the
Yeah.
ones you get the good stuff at dinner, but like you don't.
Yeah, picanha and stuff.
We
And,
were in San Diego, and it was like a Thursday, and there was a steakhouse out there. $15 lunch on Thursdays.
dang,
What?
all you can eat.
And we were just walking, and I said, we're eating here. Not even hungry, but we're going.
Yeah.
$15. I forgot it was like the one Ray, spelled R-E-I.
Oh, hey to cattle or hey to vaca or something like that. Yeah,
I think
it's like
it's one
king
of
of
those-
cattle
one
or
of those
king of
spots.
meat or something. Yeah.
I was like,
That's
what?
super cheap.
15?
That's like, again.
Y'all ever been to?
There's no dessert was included in that, and then there was one cut of meat that wasn't on the menu, but everything else was a go.
What's that
It's like
place?
that, like sirloin or picanha or something. That's like the best.
Yeah, now I know what I
The
mean.
beef ribs are really good. I started
yeah.
eating those now. Like if you have to go for dinner most of the time, but they'll have like the beef ribs. That's like the best.
I just don't like
Reminds me,
going
we might
home
have
with
to
them.
start eating meat grown in a lab soon.
I know it's
Wow.
gonna run out of meat. Dude.
Oh, damn.
We're gonna have to go to school.
I heard it's the same. I heard it's the same.
Lab meat.
Yeah, it's DNA. They take the DNA from the animals or whatever.
Well,
Create it.
I started kind of thinking about it a little bit, and someone's going to tell me I'm stupid for saying this, but so if you have Fukushima, right, the big nuclear reactor that's still leaking nuclear shit into our ocean, to where they're finding it on the coast of like that water sample on the coast of like Alaska, Northern California, they're finding like traces of it, even in, and that's a big ocean. If you're finding that shit there, it's like
like in Hawaii in the middle
Man,
or like
it's
towards.
it's like, man, you pee in a
lot.
pool, they could probably detect it. So you know what I'm saying? Like if you're going all the way across, you're still finding like nuclear isotope or whatever it's called in the water. So that means our fish that we're getting off the Pacific coast, because we live on the Pacific coast, is going to be, you know, hit with that in some level. And everybody's talking about mercury. I'm like, no, I'm talking about some Bruce Banner turn and the Incredible Hulk shit, but probably just cancer and dead. So they say like farm fish is less healthy because I guess that they're under stress, being in the water and you don't know what's in them, but it's like, when you could at least control the environment a little bit, if they're under better conditions and you know there's no nuclear shit in the water, is it better to have farm like rather than fresh from the Pacific? Because like, what's worse, the
I think
nuclear or the
farm
farm?
has,
Get all
like-
my fish from the Atlantic.
That's a better idea. It takes longer before it's all, before the pee from the pool goes over there, right? But man, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, and that's just a lack of information, like a lack of me knowing. And someone smarter than me is probably gonna say, obviously fresh
Like, no, you
ocean.
don't hear about it really anymore.
No, they stopped talking about it, but they didn't fix it.
No, it's not.
Because they tell us if they fix that shit, they didn't fix it. It's still fucking hemorrhaging fucking nuclear water into the fucking thing. And I ain't got superpowers yet, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to end that
The
way.
good side.
No, it's the other way. So, yeah, I went with Al and CJ from Want versus Need over to Kula the other day.
Oh yeah, that's
That's-
the one where you get the little
yeah.
the balls that come down. Yeah.
So it's a sushi spot, like the sushi boat, like the train thing goes around.
Yeah.
But this one, it has a little tablet where you push the thing, and then so you could just grab stuff off the boat, but there's domes over it, so kids can't reach in, touch it, put it back, and shit.
Right.
You have to, when you pull it, the dome opens up, and that's yours now. You can't put it back. But also, you hit the iPad. Each table has like a tablet where you can scroll and be like, I want that, and they get it to you quick on
Yeah,
so there's.
comes out, like you can get ramen.
yeah.
You can
Isn't that
get
similar to
anything.
Japan? Don't they do that?
It feels like you're.
Similar.
It feels like you're in Hong
I've never
Kong
been
or something.
to Japan like that, but I mean, I've seen like they do have tablets in Japan where you can order and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my coworkers love that spot.
It's-
They're like, how many plates can we get? And when
Yeah, you get little
a
prizes.
stupid little like 25-cent like ball and it has like a sticker in there or something.
Trick.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it is. But you go
Turns
through a
into
ton of
little
food
game,
anyway.
And then it's like, oh yeah, we only need a few more to get another one. And then it plays like this little animation, and then it comes down. And
And they have like the most delicious those Japanese donut with a little vanilla ice cream with it you can get. So Al's like, how many should we order? I'm like, man, I can't be eating that. One. it's a little plate. I tried it. I'm like, damn it. I shouldn't be eating none of this stuff. It's like I don't really do sugar anymore, but
good.
oh my god, so good. It's like it's a little Chinese donut. Imagine that, but like better with really nice vanilla bean ice cream with it. But it's like it's a small plate. It's Japanese donut.
No, what's the place called?
Kula, Kula. It's
right by the right
Cupertino.
across from that mall, right?
Like so Valco Mall, and then there's that new Main Street Cupertino.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
right.
it's right there.
It's right by the kebab shop TKS.
Yeah.
That place is bomb too.
Yeah, I like TKS.
Because you can order
There's one
online.
in Fremont at PACOM.
Yep. You
Go there sometimes after I leave the academy.
got a Dunkin' Donuts over by you now, over by Fremont too.
Yeah, on Mallory.
It's supposed to be packed all the time.
It is. It's crazy. You drive by there like
Is that like the only one in the Bay
10
Area?
o'clock at
Yeah,
night.
it's the first one back in
Tons of
the
people out.
because they're
Never
supposed to
ate
be.
Dunkin' Donuts before.
Just
I'm not a
tell
big
you,
donut
like,
guy.
none of the people online look like they're in shape though.
So they've had it back in. So it was gone from Vegas also for years. Like they pulled out of the West Coast. Like we grew up, we had it in Jersey.
They got a popular coffee, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's just coffee. It's just a cup of coffee. Like I don't. But so I got a breakfast sandwich there like a year or so ago at Dunkin' Donuts in Vegas, and I looked at the picture and it said croissant with like maybe sausage and egg. I can't eat that shit anymore. But a year or so ago, I was like I could, so I got it. And it came out of the. Imagine if you looked at the directions on something and put it in the microwave and set it for like 6 times that. Like how overly hot microwave food comes out just soft and like unsafe, and like they've ruined it. Like it's like soggy now. That was the Dunkin' Donuts food experience I had. And I'm like, that's not food anymore. This is
I found that so funny.
because I'm waiting now, dude. I was so hungry and I'm waiting for my little breakfast sandwich. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It's like not that many.
Dude, drop it on your thigh. Got money. Burn yourself.
You had to wait like a good amount of time before you could eat this damn thing. But the donuts, I mean, they have the.
You know what I'm saying though?
Oh yeah.
You know the lady at McDonald's that poured the coffee on her.
Oh really?
Yeah,
they
they-
to sue them, or?
She did.
Yeah, she got like $1 million out of it or something.
Something.
Really?
Yeah, she got big. Like,
Got a lot of money.
yeah, there's a lot of these weird lawsuits where people got money from the, they got burned by coffee. But you need so many things
they
to go your
found
way.
That they actually had the coffee much hotter.
They
or
were
something
serving
like
it
that.
much hotter than you're supposed to for human consumption. But in order to do that, like,
Did you eat the croissant?
I took like a bite eventually,
How was
and it was terrible. They ruined it. I mean, I don't know if that's how they serve all their food, but I was like,
It's
nah,
not
nah.
Soggy.
supposed to be
You
like.
can't have a soggy.
yeah,
It's gotta be
that's
like
gotta be
kinda
crispy.
flaky.
It in no way resembled a croissant because it was like this. It wasn't flaky. It was just a roll that was shaped that way that was overly nucleared, whatever.
Had the new guy working that day.
I'm like, he just
Put
doesn't.
everything in the microwave.
Yeah, it wasn't food anymore. It was scary. I think I just went home. Like I was done. But yeah, they have a couple things like out in Vegas now that they didn't have for a long time. Like they brought White Castle back, so they
Yeah, I've
put
been
one
there.
right on the strip. But it's at like,
White Castle's alright. Like the fish ones are pretty good. I like those.
see,
ones.
I can't do it. Like
That's from your neck of the woods.
No, that scares
Jersey,
me.
man.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it there either. I don't eat no fillet of fish sandwich. I don't want to die. Man, I don't.
Like every coast has their thing. You know, you got In and Out, and then what's the one over there? Shake Shack, I think. It's pretty good in the East Coast.
Is it? I know. There's like, what is it, Shake Shack or Steak and Shake or something? And
Shake Shack.
I saw something like that out here somewhere.
Yeah, there's one in Times Square. One of black belts, Alan Eklund from Shaolin's, he brought me there one time, and it's kind of like their Five Guys In and Out, and it was really good. I was like, man, I like this. Like, In and Out's kind of oily, and they
butter that roll, right? They butter the bun. I think.
I can only have one burger. Like, I can't have
I think it'll mess up my stomach.
So what's if you had to pick
Five Guys is good.
one burger
Five Guys
place, you go Five Guys, like the favorite out of like any burger chain. What's your favorite burger?
Oh man, I don't know. I like Cheesecake has a good burger. Cheesecake Factory. Five Guys is good. I like burgers in general, so.
Yeah,
I love burgers.
I'm not too picky on it.
Yeah.
But Robin's. I mean, I always like my Big Macs, but I don't ever go to McDonald's. So if I do, though, I'll get a Big Mac.
I got food poisoning at Red Robin a long time ago, so I
can't ever go back there.
No, and it wasn't just I went home with food poisoning. I went to a flight to Texas from Las Vegas, and I was stuck. I had to land on the damn toilet. You know what that experience is like?
You got the door like, hey, come out of there.
Like, everyone take your seats. Put your
I was like, nah,
seatbelt on.
fuck you.
Was it loud in there? You hear it like,
Dude, it hurt. Here's the thing, like, you stop worrying about being embarrassed or whatever when it's food poisoning. You just don't care.
don't care, right?
Because it hurts.
you might care a little bit, like, oh, there's people out there.
No,
Then when you got to walk out, you got to face those people, and they're like,
Their
looking
backs
at you
all
like,
against. the
no, I
wall
wasn't
where
even.
you
I
are.
wasn't
You're
even
like,
ready
man,
till they
these
were
guys-
done. Like they were almost all off out of there.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that
there's
was
one
it.
in the back.
Yeah,
There's one in the
so-
front though. Which bathroom were you in?
No, there were a number of a number of available lavatories, but yeah, no red.
I've
First
ever
class,
had to
yeah,
go-
first class.
Oh yeah, use their
Sneak up
use
there.
their toilet. Oh no, I was.
What did you have that gave you food poisoning?
It was some kind of Hawaiian burger with like a pineapple on it
Oh,
or
the
some shit.
pineapple,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I love pineapple. That's like one of my favorite things.
Oh
Is the
man,
Brazilian.
at the steakhouse, yeah, pineapple.
Oh,
grilled
yeah.
pineapple.
It's good. So,
Yeah, it's like the best. After you're done, you're full. You get
Yeah.
the pineapple.
Oh man,
I was like, man, this must be really easy to make. I want to make it one time.
just grill it, right?
Really?
yes,
So if you
Really
can fry it,
cut it up.
you fry a pineapple.
I'm sure you
Deep
can.
fry.
Man, they do all that crap on the Santa Cruz boardwalk. You can do they'll have like funnel cake and all this other stuff, but they'll do like fried peanut butter and jelly. Like they'll deep fried Oreos, deep fried Twinkies, like whatever, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like it would be way less offensive to fry a pineapple, I think. I mean, it's just I can't eat that. Like
Or a whole pineapple. Maybe just eat the skin and everything afterward.
oh really?
I don't know.
Tear your mouth up pretty good, man. It'd be like eating like
Dude, I hate peeling pineapples. It's the
Peeling
hardest
it?
thing to peel. Like to cut
Yeah.
get the skin off.
All you gotta do
We
is
don't
get a
peel it,
knife
cut
and
it.
you just like cut
No, but
down,
it's
cut
hard,
down,
man.
cut
It
down.
takes
Yeah.
forever. And then I feel like I'm wasting a lot of the pineapple.
Yeah, you want
Like,
to
a
cut
lot
it
of
as thin
pineapple.
as you possibly
Yeah.
can, so you don't get.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to waste it.
I feel like my level of like peeling mangoes, like I'm like a purple belt at that now. It's like I made so
Mangoes
many.
are pretty tough.
I would make so many like acai bowls. Like I would like Google different methods of
You
like
got the
peeling
core
mangoes.
in there. You
Yeah.
gotta like cut around that. It
So I
sucks.
would like cut it like into thirds. Like I would cut around the seed,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would do like this thing where I'd do like a grid, like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
then
yeah,
1, 2, 3,
scoop it
4,
out.
then turn it inside out and
Yeah.
scrape. So like
That's
I
a
had
good
a,
way to do it.
had a whole process. I saw how people were doing.
These tropical foods are hard to get to, man.
Yeah,
Coconuts, not easy to get into a coconut.
Dude, that was the best thing in Costa Rica, man. After we were done training, someone brought a cooler with some like
Coconuts?
frozen coconuts
Oh
almost.
yeah, you gotta cool them.
And then they had the little hole. You just put your finger through it, put a straw in. Dude, it was so good. I was like, man, I don't drink coconut
If you
juice
have it
that
warm,
much.
it's not the same.
Yeah, it was
You wanna-
like
you wanna
almost
get out of a
almost to
cooler.
freezing point. It was really good.
those are always cool in Brazil. Like we'd walk around a park or something,
Yeah,
and
they don't cool them over there though.
some of them they'd have like their
places do.
carts or whatever. And then I was at the beach one time in Natal, and they had like they're always trying to like sell you stuff on the beach
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
come by with these carts, but like it was like high tide, and this guy's like halfway up, like getting hit with waves with his cart going by, and he's like, the big thing there was like fresh cocada, those like coconut candy type things.
Okay.
So fucking good. There was like brown sugar one, there was a regular one, and he's like selling those and like sodas and beer. And the guy's like, sausage? You got a sausage? We're like, you fucking got salt water all over all of this stuff because he was getting hit with the ocean. We're like, man, maybe fold it for about an hour. No, he didn't care. Like,
Yeah, I want to go back to Rio. Like I went to Sao Paulo recently, like a year and a half ago or so, but yeah, Rio was cool. I'll go out there again.
I liked
Everyone was
Rio.
like, yeah, it's kind of dangerous and all, but we were out like
Man.
1 o'clock and like walking around the streets at night. It's like wasn't that bad.
There's a
I
couple-
mean, especially in that area. I mean, I think if you go further out, it
A
might
couple
be-
guys had some bad experiences out there.
Yeah.
Paul Schreiner.
I think that
DJ
taxis were the
DJ
worst.
Penn.
Those guys always like try to.
The bus drivers are.
They always
nuts,
try and
man.
get over.
I ain't trying to be on no bus in Brazil.
You didn't go on a bus.
Hell,
Just
no.
walked everywhere.
I either, if depending where I
There's
was,
some shady characters that come out there too, man.
if I'm staying for a while, and I would just rent a
They
car.
don't have limits on the bus. I don't know where we were.
Just
We're
take
coming
it
back. It was
across the
rush hour
country.
where everybody's going home after work or something, and there's people hanging out the door. We're like sardines in there, and the guy just keeps stopping.
People just sleeping on there. Like,
Like
hang on.
I'm like in there like this. There's people like all around me. Guy hanging out the door.
You wouldn't like Japan then, dude. You
Oh,
go in
they have the
there
broom.
freaking-
Tokyo.
You going, yeah, you're in there. It's like you don't even have to hold on to nothing. Everyone's like smushing you together. You just like
Yeah, you gotta-
you
gotta
going with the
have a
train.
limit.
Like,
No, it's not like fire code where you're like, no,
Exactly.
sir, you can have exactly this many capacity. Like, nope, if that engine will pull your asses down the street, you're in this thing.
yeah, it's crazy.
Just stack them.
buses or something.
Yeah, a couple extra buses. I don't know if you want more buses, more traffic on the damn roads there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Too many people.
It's funny to see how you can tell how different cultures handle car accidents because in some countries, like you're supposed to like leave the shit where it happened, I guess,
Yeah.
because you're not supposed to alter like you're like a crime scene, you can't touch it. But then like in Brazil, it used to be like that where you'd have an accident, you just stay right in that lane. But now it's like no, you got to pull the fuck over. There's too many people, so you can see even here in the United States, like in the Bay Area, for example, we have a lot of people from different countries, and you can see when they get in the accident where they're from or like whatever, because like they'll either leave the car right there or they'll pull over, and like if they've been here a minute they pull over, but if they just got here like a new
I mean,
driver,
I think if it's a very serious accident, it should stay where it is. But if it's like a little fender bender, then get out of the way.
I
No,
got
no.
used to Brazil, walking through the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you hear honk, honk, honk. This is a car speeding through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't stopping at the
Yeah,
stop
they
sign.
ain't
No.
stopping for you.
no, like
There's no right
Sometimes
of way
they'll
for
honk.
pedestrians over there.
And sometimes you gotta go in the street because there's dog poop everywhere. Everybody's got a
Yeah.
dog, and they don't have to pick up the dog
Yeah.
poop over there. So it's crazy. It's different experience.
Yeah, that was like one of the spots where you see like a 2-lane road and there's 3 cars driving down. Like, what the
Then
hell?
the motorcycle cut right
Yeah.
between them.
oh,
Like, dang.
with like 3 people on it, got the dog. Yeah, there's like those lines in the road in some areas are just like a rough guideline to where cars
Exactly,
kind of
it's
go.
like, yeah.
There's traffic
go
circles
there.
everywhere, which is like miraculous that there's not more accidents. Because like some people just drive through a reckless abandon, do not give a fuck. They're just like, nah, I've done this before. It's fine. I was
They don't stop. They said, yeah, they don't stop at night at
no.
the lights because it's too dangerous or something.
If
Keep going.
if you
Don't
get
stop. I was like, what?
if you get a ticket for that, and it's, depending on the time of day, like you can get it dismissed so easy. It's like people would just get carjacked. They would stop at a red light, and there'd be people just waiting there, like, come on.
Yeah.
So I've had some friends out there that like they lived there for a bit, and they were larger, like a big dude, right? And he had 2 different times people tried to jack him. Like a woman pulled a knife on him once, going out to his
The
car.
lady I stopped with, her daughter, guy jumped in her car. She was driving home, put a knife to her, and made her drive around these ATMs. She didn't have any money. She said, I don't have any money. So she went to the ATM, no money. He said, okay, you're going to take me to this ATM. No money. Like 3 or 4. And then she thought she was going to die. Eventually, the guy just took off. She stopped and he ran. But, she lived there her whole life. And so imagine if you're a tourist, you don't know what's going on. I
was
stayed
like,
in a certain area where I didn't have to, I could walk to everything.
Yep.
I could walk to the academy. I could walk to the beach. There's restaurants. I didn't have to take a car or bus. But, you want to go out and see the rest of the city.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was staying at my ex-in-law's house for a lot of it, and it would, they didn't live near any academy, they didn't live in anything, so it was like I could get a ride there, which I'm like I can't depend on other people for rides. I hate that, so I finally just broke down and went. There's an Avis there, and I had the preferred thing, so I went and got Avis. They got the rental car. It wasn't that cheap, but at the same time, I was able to kind of go wherever I needed to. I was able to go to the exact jiu-jitsu academy it was a little bit further, but like I've been training on like the same people for like so many years. Like I didn't want to go to a different place.
At the time, I stayed in Baja
Tijuca.
which is they said at the time a little safer area. And there were guys that went to the IBJJF to register. It was like next to the academy, Gracie Baja, and right next to it was their offices. So a lot of guys from all over would go there to register for a tournament or whatever. And there was an American guy I met there. He's like, "Hey, you're American?" I was like, "Yeah, from California." It was man, what's this guy? Crazy Pete the Greek, like a good friend of Scotty Nelson at the time. He was a blue belt. This is like in 2000, and he's like, "Oh, you stay here, man. Can I come train with you guys? You think it'd be cool? I'm Carlson Gracie." But I was like, "Yeah, but what, you know?" I was like, "Well, why did you want to come train?" So, because this area is so much nicer. It's so friendly. It's like friendlier. Where I stay, like people are looking at me like they're gonna rob me left and right. Everybody's dogging me.
Damn.
It's like I don't feel safe there. I was like, yeah, I don't care. It's not my. You can come and train wherever you want.
It's like we'll go.
But he was talking about the rest of Rio, like, oh, that's not.
Where was I think the best location or probably the nicest location that I've seen for a gym was the Minotauro MMA or Minotauro's Jiu-Jitsu Academy, whatever it was. It was in like Leblon.
Oh yeah, that's a nice area.
Yeah, it was like
that's where like the movie stars.
Yeah. It's like Leblon, and then right next to that's Ipanema, which is still pretty like expensive. And then you go into Copacabana, which like there's good parts, and like, but on the beach in like if you're on the beach in Ipanema, you're not going to get approached by as many hookers and beggars and stuff. Like Copacabana, like it starts getting like at night.
The places are. I remember. Like, I was out there training at Ricardo Vieira's spot, and then. Yeah, there's like a bunch of tourists there, like guys from like Australia, England, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, we'd hang out with those guys because they spoke English. So we're like, "Hey, what's up?" And then they were always going to like the prostitute spots over there. And they're like, yeah, they go to this club. And I was with Jimmy, Mike's brother. And we're like, yeah, we'll go with them. And then like we went to them. They didn't tell us it was that kind of spot. And we walked in, and then we're like in there, and there's a dance floor, but no one's really dancing. There's just like girls standing around, like, oh, this is one of these kind of spots.
Oh boy,
they were so into it too. I was like, dang.
Honestly, I've never been. There was one that was very popular that everybody would talk about. There's all kinds of
like
stories coming out of that place.
Like, oh man.
Yeah, but it's not my thing.
No, man, they're dirty.
Yeah, I like ladies, but I like classy.
Well, they don't.
I remember like right when we got out of there too, it started super raining, and me and Jimmy jumped in like a cab, and he said his meter was broken, so he's gonna charge us like $20 US, and it was like we were paying like
$6,
like
maybe
$5 or something regular, and we're like, nah, just let us out. We got out, we're like, oh, this is hella dumb. It was super raining. We're like just walking home in the rain. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Man.
That's why I was getting over. It's like, you guys ain't walking in the rain. That's some extra money.
Man.
Yeah, it's fun though. I'd love to go back there.
The working girls down there are super aggressive. Because I'm always married there, so I'm not fucking trying to meet anybody, especially fucking for that kind of thing. My ex-wife, she would like go into the restroom, and like two of them would just like walk over. Like it happened at like I think there was a public bathroom near one of the beaches or something, like like shower or whatever. And I'm like just kind of waiting for my ex-wife to come out, and like they just walk right up to you. Like they saw her walk away, and they walk right up to you. I'm like, hey. You're trying to get me killed, right? Is that what you're trying to do?
One of them's like going up to you, the other one's watching when she's coming back.
No, they both came up. Like they just like figured one of them's gonna do whatever. Like they see somebody's not from there, which is basically everybody at some of those beaches, but. I figured out the way to like be like more kind of inconspicuous, how to fly under the radar in Brazil. You ready? Sunga. I wear that Brazil Speedo. I wear that shit.
I heard once you go Sunga, you never come back.
Nope, you don't.
No
you don't. Nope. That's what I rock, man. I rock it. Y'all don't know. Am I Brazilian? Am I white? Because look at Ricardo Almeida. Like he could be American, right? I get pretty dark in the summer too, so I rock that.
Oh man, in Rio there's plenty of bright, pasty white guys.
Big fat ones, dude. They don't care. So a Sunga is like a Speedo, but there's a little bit more like it's not as like tight.
It's like
like
it's
the
kind of like
Voluntudo
Fedor,
Well, no, it still comes up like to the same line. There's different like lengths of them. Like they go anywhere from like booty shorts kind of length.
I went to the beach and I was like, what are these guys wearing? What the hell? They're like playing soccer with it. I was like,
I got a couple of those. They're comfortable, man. You can move. You could if you had to defend yourself like in a pinch, you could throw a kick. Like you can get your legs up there.
I've seen guys training no-gi in those.
No, that's not okay. That's too much.
That's that real wrestling.
No gear.
It was like I wore spats a couple
Stuck
times,
to
like
my board shorts.
just like regular spats with like compression shorts under. I remember like I wore them like twice to gym, and then like 2 days later, I saw like Mike made a new rule: you have to wear shorts over. I'm like, damn it.
Well, I prefer
Training.
You know, well, it's not pro training. It's not like competition. There's a lot of people that come to train, and it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, like it's like bulgy.
Some people may not.
Well, like okay, if
Let's just say this: most of the people appreciate the shorts over the tights.
but okay, that's
If you think of that stuff, you think of like yoga pants, and you don't want to see no guy wearing it just like that.
yeah, but how no one if a woman has just a rash guard on, but she's like endowed, right? Like she's whatever, like no one's gonna say anything, right? It's like it's kind of a double standard, right? Unless you're gonna make her wear like a vest over it, like a tank
I don't think
top.
it's a double standard. No. I don't think so. But no, it's not. It's not a. Like you guys can do whatever you want. I'm just saying.
I just thought it was funny.
Certain class, the one world, the no-gi class, yeah. Long sleeve rash guard. If you're gonna wear tights, wear shorts, please.
Did we?
I don't
Or
kick.
like-
I don't kick anybody out if they come in just tights, but I just next time can you wear shorts?
What if they came in
Or
like
V-pants.
like Abu Dhabi, like no shirt
Or singlet.
like a no
T-shirt
shirt?
off.
Yeah, just
What about
the
like a
tournaments. I see them competing with
in the past, I've trained like that, shirtless and just regular
Yeah,
shorts.
I think that'd be hella slippery.
I thought about wearing like the pro wrestling stuff, like because I got the boots, I got the whole thing.
Like the suspenders stuff.
Well, no, I got like they're like long like tights kind of thing. Like it looks ridiculous, like spandex kind of thing. You can move around them though if you wanted to. The boots are just funny. They're not like wrestling shoes. They're like, but they're soft on the bottom.
So
I
you
thought,
can like kick somebody in the head. And walk.
yeah, like you could not really. I mean, you're still gonna be kicking somebody in the head, but I guess it wouldn't hurt as much as a shoe. And your feet can kind of bend in them still. I thought about doing that once. It could be funny, but it's like seems pretty disruptive. But or like a singlet, you wear like a singlet with the gear, the ear protectors. Like didn't Alex have a story?
Roll around on jiu-jitsu mats in a singlet.
Yeah, it's probably true. Alex had that bad experience rolling with a guy with basketball shorts back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some body part got put on his cheek.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
I was like, hey, get off me. The guy's like, man, just keep going. Just
Oh.
training. The round's not over.
Basketball shorts. Come with some Nike.
Basketball
like,
shorts
long
with
basketball
nothing
shorts.
else underneath.
Well, because even if you wear boxers, there's like positions
Well,
you can
yeah,
get in where there'd be a window, right?
Yeah.
Where there's that's balls. It's balls. It's
It's
definitely
good
balls.
to wear the proper gear.
It's nice clean gi. Make sure those nails are manicured. Get the mani pedi. Make sure you're showering. Did I mention the gi should be clean? The gi should be clean. The gi should be clean. To wash it every time.
What about belts? What do you guys feel about belts?
I wash all my garments, all of them, and that includes my belt.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
I've never ever washed a belt. Starting from when I was a kid in karate.
Really?
And it started with karate. The instructor said you're not supposed to wash your belt. And I don't know why I got this thing. I'm a little superstitious, I guess,
The knowledge.
where I've
Wash it away.
never washed my belt.
Jake
And
doesn't either.
even to this day, sometimes if I roll and I'm sweaty, I sometimes will pick up my belt and
Yeah,
wipe
I still
the
do
sweat
that.
off of my face with it. And in 20-something years, I have, knock on wood, no skin rashes or anything like that. But it makes sense to wash your belt.
No, yeah.
My black belt, I like my black belt that I have now. If I wash it, it's gonna wear, it's gonna fade. If it's gonna wear and fade, it's gonna be from work, from time on the mat. So I don't know. But to each his own. I don't enforce it. I give my belt a smell test. It's cool, it's clean. I air it out. I never put it in a duffel bag. It's never in a closed area.
You could,
Always airs out.
if you wanted to clean it,
A lot of people are going to be afraid of that. Don't be afraid.
you could freeze
I know
it.
a lot of black belts that don't wash
Yeah.
their belts.
Oh yeah, there's like these new things now, with, like the UV ray, like the little, it's like a little microwave. You put your stuff in there and you close it, leave it in there for like 30 minutes. It kills all the bacteria. You could probably do that with your belts now.
Yeah, because
So I
with
think we're thinking about doing it for NVIDIA. We're doing it with like VR equipment
Okay.
because, like, when you put on VR equipment, it's like
yeah,
see all your face on there, and then you do the demo, and then they put it down, and someone else comes in. So they started having like these
What were
little
you gonna
condom things. And then now it's like you can put them in these little UV cleaners, sanitizers, where it kills all the bacteria. So it's like you're not wearing someone else's.
Were you gonna say something
sweat.
about Jake Bell?
He also doesn't do the belt washing thing.
Yeah.
He talks about that.
Yeah.
I know you can.
He's not into wearing rash guards under his gi either.
I like to wear them under my gi when it's cold, but otherwise I don't.
I feel like it constricts my body a little bit. Like I'm always
All
like
tight,
this.
yeah. It takes a little getting used to.
Like a t-shirt, I feel like is okay. Yeah, rash guard. It's like it feels a
Yeah,
little
Jake.
different.
Jake doesn't even have. He has one belt. I think he has a judo belt, but he still wears mostly the belt that was originally given to him.
The belt that you gave me for my black belt, it's like the nicest belt I've ever owned. I've had some nice belts. Like it's Kataro. It's just
Kataros are nice.
because I
That one was like a little.
That's the only
long
Kataro
for me.
you've ever had.
no, I've had other ones, but I didn't order them right apparently because this one's way nicer. Like the way it feels like
Oh, I think now what I'm starting to get is the weave ones. It's like a gi weave belt.
those look nice.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
gold weave kind of.
Yeah, I think the one you got is not that.
It's the thinner one and it's soft. And the embroidery is on just one side. It was very long, but I just kept shrinking it. Now it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was like crazy long at first. So like I wrapped it around an extra time, but then I was like I kept shrinking, and now
So one I bought is like the super stiff one, and I was like, I'm gonna have this for a long time. So I wanted it stiff because I felt like if it was soft, it would probably like rip. And I mean, it's been holding up, but then the one that you gave me, it was like a little longer too. So
Well, I got the length a little bit more because of the
there's so much
embroidery on
embroidery
it.
on
So I
it.
didn't want you tying the knot over the embroidery.
See, I made that
And I figured
mistake.
you guys would probably I don't know,
Yeah, I have mine
put
hung
it
up
up somewhere.
anyways.
Yeah, because it is nice. I ordered one that was the stiffer version, like, but it's a little taller and a little stiffer, and like it's
The knot.
the
Well, you have to tie it kind of like a judo belt. If you try and tie it the regular way, it'll just come undone.
Oh,
really
yeah, you gotta
fast.
kinda
You have to
tuck it
like
in
tuck
the-
it in.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that.
I do it where you wrap around your waist, like you start here and you wrap around, like so you
there's
don't
no like
there's no
folds in it.
yeah, that's how I tie it anyway. But with the stiffer one, when I tie it that way, it's a perfect length if it had no embroidery, but because like it has One World Jiu-Jitsu Academy and like my name, it's like half of my name is stuck in the knot. And if depends where my weight's at. Or if I have a rash guard under, it's like Cronin. But if
I said I'm gonna stop. Well, not for the black belts, but I'll stop buying belts in general because I've noticed that every time I give somebody a belt that I get, like I don't charge for it, so everybody ends up buying their own belt. So I was like,
You just
man,
need to have
I
those.
just got a
Like,
hand me down. I just got a bunch. You
You just
notice
need
the
to have,
hand me
like,
downs
a-
are gone. Like they're
oh, really?
bending down.
People are taking
There
them.
were like 20 of them, and now there's like 3 or 4.
I think a lot of people used to leave them from like open mats and stuff.
Yeah.
We just leave it there, and like people wouldn't pick them up. They would just stay there.
No,
So
I put
then,
them all the hand me downs there that people left after the promotion.
and then like people come in,
Either
they'll
they're
forget
taking
their
them back
they'll
or
forget their
something.
belt, and they'll put that on. They'll probably just go home with it and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about.
yeah, I grabbed a Lost and Found blue belt, a really nice one from Lost and Found at AKA Sunnyvale. That's what I gave Julie after Gorilla Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
She's like, leaving or whatever. Like, well, she's already been training 100 years. Probably deserves her. Well, she definitely deserved her blue belt. She killed it at Grand Prix. I was like, yeah, but I just found it. It was like a really nice blue belt too. Somebody's ditched it there. So is this anybody's? Cool. You're a blue belt now. Probably buy another one and put it back there when you're done. Or not. You probably shouldn't leave your belt home, leave your belt around. I like to, I don't know. I've given some of mine to people, I think.
Your old belts, yeah.
Yeah, I still
I
have
don't have any of my old belts. They're all gone.
I still have my original one because I made like a ring thing out of it. And I was gonna get one of those belt displays. What I did is I bought like this. It had 5 rows in it, and it was for golf balls, and it was a frame, where you could put your things on there. So I was gonna put the belts in there and everything, but it was too thin. So I'm like, wait a minute. I got a second one and I'm going to glue that to the back of it and use that so I could put the belts in there because they're only like, $15-20 and it looked pretty nice. So for like a wall thing. So otherwise I'd have to like put it in like a, like a press to like squish the belt down so it fits in because a golf ball is only like, that's the diameter. So like to get a belt smashed down to that size is like probably not going to happen without like a, one of those presses. What do you call them? I think you just call it a press.
Belt press.
I don't think there's one for belts, but I know like they'll, for like garbage or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I can't hang. My wife doesn't allow any jujitsu stuff in the house.
I don't
Other
have.
than my gis.
I don't have. I have curtains and
Can we
jujitsu
put a
stuff.
picture of like a jujitsu something on the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe when she starts training, and I think she's gonna maybe Saturdays
Well,
when she has time come in.
yeah. I just have jujitsu stuff on the wall.
She keeps asking me for a blue belt. I'm like,
What?
I can't give you a blue belt. There's no way. Just because you're my wife. You know?
Oh, it's gonna be harder because she's your wife. Because like everybody's gonna look, they're like, just got because it's your wife. Yeah. It's like you're like you have to win worlds at least twice. Like you haven't even done Masters Worlds. What are you talking about? We worlds.
Gotta come with that gold.
Exactly. Like you gotta
You guys
be.
did really well yesterday grappling. So
Yeah.
Lima, gold. David Mitchell, his weight in absolute.
Yep.
Ben.
Did great. He's got really good instincts. He's he's a wrestler, so he's pressuring forward without kind of beating the guard. But he avoided a lot of submission attempts and was able to eventually pass and dominate. Like he was on top the whole
He's
time.
got to learn how to submit too.
He just needs to learn how to deal with people's guards, full guard, half guard. He just wants to go forward a lot, and the guy kept getting ladder arm bar attempts on him, but and he was listening. So yeah, he had pretty good awareness or pretty good instincts when it came to defending stuff, which is good. But Nima did good. He improved over his last outing. He isn't Def Nima anymore. He lost that nickname at Grand Prix. I was calling him Def Nima. Yeah, because he didn't listen to a damn thing.
So I've never been to a grappling industries tournament. How was it overall?
So
You said there
It was
was
like
heaters or something?
six mats, heaters.
they had heaters, yeah.
They had the coaches area where you can sit by the mat and coach them too, which was pretty cool.
There was one
It's a
situation.
pretty small tournament.
So
It was run well. Right?
there was one
so.
situation where Ben almost got second place because they did the scoring wrong. So depending on the number of competitors, if like a submission victory is worth more than a points victory. So they were saying Ben was second because the guy that was first had more submissions than he did. And I'm like, yeah, but Ben has 3 wins and that guy has 2. They're like, what? I'm like, come here. Let me break this down for you. That guy you're saying is in first place? Yeah. Well, Ben beat that guy.
Yeah.
That means he's in first place. Like, no, but because this guy has more submissions, I'm like, no. Let me break this down for you again. Ben has more wins than he does because he beat that guy.
Sounds like maybe they're still trying to figure out,
They're like, oh shit, I haven't eaten all day. I'm sorry.
rules and this and that for that event.
The guy's like, I haven't eaten all day. Like, there's one of the referees so one of the referees wasn't there, so they had to be on the mat the whole time for the whole thing. So I was like, I had this trail mix thing in my fanny pack. I'm just gonna go out and call it a fanny pack. I wear a fanny pack.
Nothing wrong with fanny packs.
I love my fanny pack. So I had like this Planters thing. It was like, like a bunch of nuts and freaking M&Ms or something in a bag. I'm like,
I don't
here.
keep my nuts in my fanny pack.
I'm like, I certainly do. I wear kind of form-fitting jeans. I need space. I need to accommodate those nuts.
I would think most of the people working the tournament were probably locals too. I doubt they're flying people all over the country.
No, the guy was Brazilian, but I don't know. Like he was where he teaches.
Cool, yeah, you got to go into the tournament free too. I was like, man, they better not charge me because they just charged me $10 for parking. I was like,
Dude.
And then everyone got in free. I was like, all right, cool.
I show that IBJJF black belt card everywhere I go. I ain't paying to get into a
They're
tournament.
not IBJJF.
I don't give a fuck. It says
I
I'm a black
still
belt. I ain't
show it.
paying.
I was like, hey,
for jiu-jitsu
coach?
no more.
And then
Well,
everyone was walking in, so I was
Again,
like, all right.
it's a tournament. It's not a spectator.
But we're coaches.
you're coaches.
We're there to work. Like
Even if you're family or teammates there to support, it seems weird to charge for a jiu-jitsu tournament. I understand that they got to make money, but
yeah, like if you're there, you're there because you're obligated in some way or another.
Worlds or the finals or something. You want to see I think you can actually watch that live streaming. Right?
On
It's free, too.
Flow or
Was
other.
it
it
free on
Flow?
Flow? Yeah, it's usually on Flow.
Oh, it's on
Grab.
Flow.
Flow's not cheap. Flow's not free. For most I haven't been charged as a coach probably ever at any of these places. I know the BJJ
Yeah,
Tour
most of them
doesn't.
let the coaches in. You sign in or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, once
there's
you show them the card, I think they're pretty cool. They see black belt, they're like, okay, go ahead.
the cool part is that IBJJF at some of those bigger tournaments, they have like there's an area behind like the it's kind of
Yeah, it's like the coaching area.
but there's a lot of seats right there, so you can go sit there during some of the
Yeah.
stuff, and it's kind
I
of
did
nice.
that at Master Worlds. Like I got the coaches pass, and then
Nice.
I was like sitting there, and then they had like the 16-man tournament there. It was pretty cool. And then like Megaton, and he had his dog and stuff. It was like all
nice.
right next to us. I was like, dang, everyone's sitting here. It's like all the black belts. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a kind of neat setup. I was at what was it? Worlds last year over in Long Beach, and they had that area. They had it at Nogi Worlds in San Francisco or Daly City, whatever, Cow Palace too. It's just kind of little, coaches area. But there was a bunch of people that weren't coaching at the time. They're just chilling there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Anyway, we've been at it for like 2 hours now, and you guys are talking about churrascaria, so I think I'm gonna get some food, guys. Fuki Fook, I think it's cagetix.com for Fight to Win Pro at Richmond on February 10th. If you go under Keith Fukamai, you can get a ticket to support your boy over here. And there's are we doing VIP as well? Are we doing a table?
I believe there's a table.
Those are how
The
much?
seats are almost taken. 60, I want to say.
Those are 60, and GA tickets are available too. What's your you got Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't do Twitter, but
You don't do Twitter?
Yeah.
Or is your IG out there for the world, or is it
Yeah,
private?
most people, can find me. It's just Fuki Fook with zeros instead of O's.
Fuki Fook was 0. So
There's another Fuki Fook out there with the O's. So
No.
yeah.
really,
Serious?
Aw.
Yeah.
What?
biter,
Took it.
dude. I own like
The
everything related to my name. Like I have like all these .coms and stuff. Like I don't do
Nice.
anything. They just all point to my podcast. I got like a ridiculous number. I'm like, there's a guy with my same last name in LA. It says jiu-jitsu. I'm like, nah, I got to own all of them then.
Yeah.
So Cronin, BJJ. I got CroninClub.com. That's the shirt's coming out soon. Cronin.
Irish?
It's Irish. Irish, so like South Ireland.
Cronin.
The family's from like Cork originally. My dad's side. Anyway, Mike Prudencio, you can find him at One World Jiu-Jitsu or at Mike Prudencio. You don't really post. Do you post on your personal? You're
Not
most
too much. No,
you're,
I'm not into it.
you're kind of
One
at
World
One World
Jiu-Jitsu
Jiu-Jitsu.
Academy has an Instagram and Facebook,
So
website.
and
The
Everything.
academy, you can find One World Jiu-Jitsu at AK Sunnyvale, housed there. We got it in Newark, Portland, PDX BJJ,
Butte, Montana.
Butte, Montana Imperial.
it's a butte.
Jiu-Jitsu.
It's a butte.
It's a Butte.
It's a butte. And at the mothership at headquarters, right? So 5:30 p.m. every Sunday night. If you're in the Bay Area, it's the place to be. If you're not there, I mean, you're missing a party. You get like 60, 70 people on average. It's the open mat.
6 p.m. Sundays, every Sunday. Yeah.
It's
been
the
going-
open mat.
You get some of the top competitors showing up. there
World
sometimes.
champions. Yeah, and if you're
Tough guys come through.
a female in jiu-jitsu, there's like a good dozen of them every Sunday. Never fails. I mean, it's a great place, all levels. So I mean, come in, roll, drill, whatever, and good people, safe environment. It doesn't cost anything, right? Still free. It's free. It's easy. It's freezy. And
Freezy.
One World Jiu-Jitsu, Fuki
You're
Fook.
gonna start charging $50 drop-in fees
$50.
for the open mat Sundays.
That I've so not open mat, but I've been to gyms that were actually way more than 50 for a drop-in.
Not for an open mat.
AOJ,
Not for
was,
open mat, no.
AOJ was pretty expensive. I think it's like 60 or something.
I've never been big on visiting. I don't know. Just never have. When I travel, I don't usually go anywhere. But I feel like I would not go anywhere that didn't allow me to wear my gi with my home patch on it. I wouldn't go anywhere where the color of the gi. I just wouldn't. It wouldn't
I've been
appeal
to
to
ones
me.
like that,
It wouldn't appeal to me. It's just weird to me. I understand that they do it, but it just wouldn't appeal to me.
The belt
I've
thing's
never
weird to
gone-
me.
I've never been I think a lot of the old school guys like Jeff Glover, I think talked about it at SimGo. They never touched their foot on a different mat other than their home gym until after they were black belts doing seminars. And I think that's just something that, maybe it's an old school thing, but I've never been interested, But I can understand people wanting to do it. And I think it brings the community closer together,
Yeah, it's
I think it's pretty cool, like especially like since we travel and stuff too. You just go in and it's like you already know them. It's like jujitsu, hey, and then you just kind of go in. They're like, all right, because I feel like whenever I go to different countries too, I'll just train jujitsu and you meet so many people.
Make you teach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that too. But
yeah, you put you to work.
But then they're usually like, yeah, what are you doing after this? And then they'll take you to like places around town. Like, yeah, this is a good place to go, and you'll meet people and you'll connect with them like pretty fast just through jujitsu. It's pretty cool.
Man, if you would have told me when I was like 18 or something, I was gonna have friends all over the world, like legit all over the world, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like all these places and like all these places I've trained where I still keep in touch with people, and they'll come here, and it's just crazy, man. It's like the world gets smaller every day, but yeah, the only one that's kind of weird to me is where you have to wear a different belt if you visit certain gyms. Is it Hickson's or is it?
I've heard of that.
It's one of the Gracie Family Academy.
I mean, if it's their gym and you want to visit, then you abide by their
So
rules.
as a black belt, you would lose your red stripe on your black belt. You'd get a white stripe instead.
Oh,
or if
you're a student instead of
you're a
teacher.
visiting student. No, you're a
I feel
visitor.
like that's not a very welcoming and friendly thing to do to someone.
Or
so like
if
go
you're
somewhere else.
even as a blue belt, like if you, let's say you are not like at their criteria for a blue belt. Different schools have different whatever. What they used to do that, they'd be like, you're a white belt, they'd make you earn it again.
Make her wear a shoestring.
They would do.
Tore up gi.
There you go.
The loader belt,
You got to wear this hat with a point on it.
Here's some Christmas lights.
cone of shame.
Spray you with this really nasty cologne. They're like, all right, now they know who you are. Now they would this one gym, they'd have you wear the blue. You'd still be a blue belt, but it would be with a white stripe, and you'd have to earn the regular blue belt from there. And it depends how long it takes. So if they had different criteria, so not any visitor that comes in, they would get their same color belt, or a new student that came in with a rank already, they would get that color belt with a white stripe. So your rank bar is just whatever it was. And they're like, if you had if you had degrees on it, for example, and they didn't think you should have them after they evaluated you, you're losing them. Like you may or may not get them back. It's like, I guess for anything but black belt, I could see people being like, what the hell? Like, but if you're a black belt over there, like a 3rd degree black belt, you go over there and they just try to give you a fucking black belt minus 3 degrees. You're like, you're out of your mind. That's like 10 years of work.
Well, you don't have to go there,
No, you don't. No one has to, but if someone moves to an area or whatever, and they're
Oh, you're saying if you move and you want to join?
yeah, exactly, and then they're like,
Hey man, you're a 3rd degree black belt. You should find something.
Yeah, there's
Be able to
there's
find
people that
someplace.
like they don't allow
Exactly.
Or you just
like
get a garage or somewhere and just bring in people.
Yeah.
Hey, YMCA, can I just
Jiu-Jitsu University.
match
I
space?
think they don't allow black gis, and I came there one time with black gi, and they gave me a blue gi, which was pretty cool. But then I was like, oh, you can't wear black gis, and then yeah, there's some gyms that don't allow it. So like if you go to join another gym and they don't allow it, you say you got a lot of black gis, you're like, man, I gotta sell all these now.
so does Gorilla still have the thing with the certain belt levels or like coordinated with certain
I'm not
gis?
exactly sure how it works, but
So the original way that Dave told us was a white belt can wear like a white gi. I think blue could wear white or blue, and then you had to be a purple belt to wear a black gi.
So you have to earn your stripes before you can,
Yeah,
start wearing
basically.
it. Well, I mean, you do see that. You'll see like a lot of like I would say new white and blue belts that are really into it. They like to buy a lot of gis, and like they might not even train that much, but they like to buy a lot of
Really
gis,
nice gi.
and they're like, yeah, I got the gi,
Sponsorship
but they have more
patches
gis than
everywhere.
they actually train.
Oh,
and at those times, I think it makes sense.
They're coming in looking like with all the Meerkatu stuff with dragons all over it. They're like, dude, what is that? Did you just have pyro as you walked in, like some crazy red
and then they
geese?
can't shrimp up and down the mat. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
you see that.
I don't care as long as the geese clean. We just had a guy that joined us. He's a white belt, but he has a Victor Shaolin. He came from the East Coast. Gi, it has like the patches on it, like little patches on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, do you need me to cover these? Or I'll buy a patch too from you. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, I'll have patches soon. And we just sold out completely, but we're having some more shipped. And he's like, do you want me to cover this? And I was like, no, it's fine. Just, why? Wait, that's not giving you any superpowers. That's not going to help you, and nobody here cares.
So the only experience I had with a gi with patches and stuff was when AKA Sunnyvale first opened. I still had my Half Gracie gi from Mountain View, and I saw somebody else wear theirs there, and Bobby Southworth gave him an ear beating for it.
Well, you know, Bobby
yeah.
has a
Yeah, he and Half had a thing that was a long time ago.
So he probably doesn't
But-
want to see that.
But I saw that conversation, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna avoid that. I'm not gonna wear
Yeah.
my health gi here. So the next trip to Brazil, I left it there. So like so when I'd be able to go there, I'd be able to wear that. I'm like, but I wonder where that gi is.
You probably could have done a nice trade for it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I used to bring I'd bring like show your roll stuff there, and I would like trade for stuff like, or they buy it, like they just want to buy it. I was wearing like a pair of tap out shorts once years ago. They're like, man, I'll give you whatever. I'm like, dude, what? My shorts, I'm sweating in them. Like, would you like me to wash them first? It's weird. You want my actual shorts?
I traded some shirts, sweatshirts, like Half Gracie stuff.
Cool.
For just jujitsu shirts. I think Igor Gracie took
cool.
me to his little place next door. He had all these shirts. He's like, I gave him one sweatshirt. He's like, go ahead, take like 5 or 6 shirts. I was like, all right, cool. It's an even trade. But they like at Gracie Bar. They like anything Half Gracie, no matter what it was. That's his uncle, but you know they don't have that stuff down there. They don't have any of his gear.
Man, I like Half's cool, man. So he shows some really fun submissions. They're just violent, just violent. I love it. I took really well to some of the stuff he showed me.
I
like,
think that's why, you know, I think the way I think about a lot of stuff. Like I tell the guys in class sometimes, I like anything that causes pain, discomfort, rips tendon, ligament, tissue, breaks bone. I like it all. I don't care if it's the neck, the ankle, the knee. I like it all. I want to learn it all. I want to know about it all.
So-
It probably came from
Oh, yeah.
early days training there.
because he's such a great motivator. Like a lot of people say, like he's hard on students and all that stuff, dude. If you're engaged and like you do the stuff as with the energy or the enthusiasm he teaches it in, like he's a great motivator because he'll get behind you, like yes.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of slacking off or just wanting to be on your phone or whatever, like you're gonna get fucked
on
with.
you.
It's like this week I was trying to. What I was teaching was. Basically like a pass to finish. It was like we were doing like knee slide. The guy hips out. We Camarillo switch, keep the guy on their side, basically, pressure in, and then pop up near side arm bar, with the 1 foot over the head and the other knee in the armpit. But I said, when you land, I want you to hold the Kimura grip real tight, and I want you to fall hard towards your shoulder, round off, and finish the arm bar. Real basic stuff, but I'm trying to explain like this move, I want you to drill the Camarillo switch like this many times. I want you to drill the pop-up this many times. I want you to drill pinch your knees together as you sit to have that bite on it, to really anchor that grip, with your hips, with your legs. Because ultimately, like, this needs to be fast and violent or it ain't working. Like, you need to be able to throw your weight down, because if you sit there and arm wrestle a guy, if they're stronger than you, you're not going to break that grip. So I'm like, the way this needs to happen is I want you to dial it in. I want you to drill it this many times. So like when you hit this move can happen very fast, very suddenly. And then all of a sudden, it's like you go from Camarillo switch to finishing that arm bar. It's like a second. It's like, so I want you guys to drill this like a lot. And they're like, why are we doing so many Camarillo switches? I'm like, show me your Camarillo switch. They do it like wrong. I'm like, that's why you're still doing it.
That's one of the things that's probably good to drill a lot.
Yeah. Just like, and I'm trying to get them to like really open their hips up and like commit to it, because that if your foot doesn't go bam when it hits the mat, there wasn't enough velocity like
I feel
that.
like that's one of the movements where if you don't drill it, you lose it. You'll get rusty. It won't stick with you too well when you need it. So it's good. That's a good move to drill.
I want them to be able to really turn that hip over and whip it over. And I'm like, you got to open up on this. Like you got to keep a little, you get them to whip and nay. They got to whip and nay when they're doing. You got to commit to that switch. And I just want them to drill the hell out of it. And that arm bar, like that whole setup, you can go from like you pass, they hip out to that you finishing that arm bar. I bet you could do it in a second. I bet you could do the whole thing in a second, and it would be like tap. So I just wanted that repetition. And I was trying to explain to him, I was like, this move, when you get it right, it should be fast and violent. And like one of the white belts, girls, she looks at me like, fast and violent. I'm like, I was like, yeah, you're in fight school. Start drilling. Start drilling. So like looked at me like all shocked. I was like, dude, what do you think a choke is? Like
Tupac?
It's not.
I don't know. It's just some white belt.
Tupac.
This white belt. I don't know. No, but I was like, yeah, it's got to be fast and violent. Like looked at me all shocked, like fast and violent. I'm like, yeah, you're in fight school. That's what this is.
Is it Lulu?
I don't know. I can't do that. Lulu. What's Lulu?
That's what I call.
Do I have a Lulu in my class?
Yeah, 6'3", yeah.
Did I-
I just gave her the name.
Did I not know I had a Lulu?
Recently.
She wear like Lululemon or what?
Lale.
Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah, she told me afterward it means monster in
Lulu means monster.
it's Persian or something.
She'd probably think it's
Something
funny.
like
That's a cool
that.
lady.
Shout out to Lulu.
Lulu Vuitton. That's not. Oh, it's Louis Vuitton. All right,
All right.
we're 2 hours and something deep. You guys enjoy the
World
extra
Jiu-Jitsu
hour.
Academy.
You better get on that.
Watch Fuki Fook.
is it
Fight to Win Pro. They say Oakland, but it's actually Richmond Craneway Pavilion. It's actually a nice spot. It's a nice. I think it's on the west side of the freeway, so it's not
Yeah,
bad. If
it's
you're
right by
familiar
the
with
water,
Richmond,
right?
yeah, you're near the water. It's a cool
Should be
spot.
fun.
Cold if you go outside. If you're gonna go out, wear warm clothes. It's usually a little chilly.
A parka.
Oh yeah, parka. You'll be inside though most of the night.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hit them up, Fuki Fook, One World Jiu Jitsu, Want versus Need, 2018, Clint Cronin Show.